This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where each week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We're your hosts,
Cheryl
and Jay.
All right, this week we watched The Monkey, and I'm on deck for trivia. Is your mind ready?
Yep.
All right, so Theo James, who is the lead for The Monkey, did voice work for did voice work for a very popular Netflix animated show.
Terminator?
No.
Oh.
It's one you didn't like Terminator Zero, did you?
I like Terminator Zero.
Oh, did you? Okay.
But he did, no. I thought he did voice work for that.
He's something else, but it's also very popular, something that you like.
Castlevania?
Yes.
Oh.
But who? Now you gotta guess who.
Is it in the new section of Castlevania?
No, it's the OG Castlevania. The one that I've watched, at least started.
Dracula?
Hector.
Who's Hector?
Hector was the one that is getting beat up by the female vampire.
Oh, the one with the cloven feet?
Did you have a cloven feet?
The redhead one?
White hair. It was him and the black. Remember?
Oh, Hector the alchemist.
Yes, they weren't vampires, but they was working with the vampires.
Yes.
He voiced Hector.
Okay.
Which now that I hear it, I can hear it. I mean, now that I know that I can hear it.
I mean, he's monotone, so he's very monotone.
He does, yeah. It's not like boring monotone, but there is little inflection, which not a bad thing. Like I didn't mind it, but I was like, oh, I didn't know, because I've actually never seen Theo James in anything before today, but I know who he is. Interestingly enough,
he's in White Lotus.
Ah, okay.
He was not Aubrey Plaza's husband, but Aubrey Plaza's husband's best friend.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of like not little stuff, but middling stuff. I guess that's the best way to describe it. But
yeah.
So yeah, he also was the voice of somebody in X-Men '97.
Yeah, he was the main villain.
Yes, Bastion.
Bastion, yes.
Was it Bastion? Yeah. Yeah. Although that I can't hear, but I can hear him as Hector.
I haven't rewatched X-Men '97, so I don't remember his voice. I don't remember what Bastion sounds like.
When it came out that it was him, I was like, nope, I'm not hearing. No, I'm not hearing what I thought I would hear. But so he's doing both. He's acting and he's doing voice work. So
that's good.
Good for him. And that is it for our movie trivia. Now we're getting to the episode.
Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun, dun, dun. So we have a new movie announcement and a new TV show announcement in our first section. Then we have quite a few cars in the trailer park. They're a little packed today. And then we also have about 2 boxes of Buncha Crunch. So let's start off at the top. There is a new Martin Scorsese movie that's coming out. It's coming out, hopefully. But we got some information on the cast and on the plot. It will star The Rock, who most people nowadays call Dwayne Johnson, but the man is always going to be The Rock, so I'm calling that man The Rock.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Emily Blunt. So this is The Rock's first Martin Scorsese film. This is Leonardo DiCaprio's...
The Rock's first serious film, period.
He's got that boxing movie coming out, right? Where he's like a boxer.
So is this first or is that second?
Well, that's one of my bullet points on this. This one actually hasn't been picked up yet. Like,
no.
Ain't nobody touched it quite yet. So that one will probably be first. Because he's in it with... Oh, I think he's in that movie with Emily Blunt. No? I think.
The boxing movie?
I think. Or maybe it's another popular white lead actress. But they've also done Jungle Cruise. So this is not their first foray working together.
Yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio's done a bazillion Martin Scorsese movies. The latest one was Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes.
I blanked for a second. And then Emily Blunt, has she ever worked with Martin Scorsese? No. She wasn't in The Departed. That was somebody else.
It was Vera Farmiga.
Exactly. Okay. So these people have worked together in some capacity, in some form, shape, depending on how you pair them up. But anyway, this movie is based on a ruthless Hawaiian crime boss who apparently they're basing this off of a real person who is battling rivals for control of the organized crime in Hawaii. So, crime, mob movies, Martin Scorsese, not particularly new. So, I need to see a trailer first.
Yeah. And Leonardo DiCaprio. And just in The Departed.
Departed and
I guess Killers of the Flower Moon was a crime movie.
Is exactly. I was about to say that. And then I guess Wolf of Wall Street wasn't.
It's a white collar crime or blue collar, whatever.
Crime. I mean, he's known for his crime movies. I ain't gonna take away from him, but I didn't particularly love Killers of the Flower Moon. The more I thought about it, so this one I'm kind of like, I need to see a trailer first.
Yeah.
There is it's currently being shopped around the studio, so it does not have a studio attached to it yet. It says studios and streamers. Now, his last movie was Apple TV. And it went to the theaters too. But it was mainly on Apple TV. I think it was an exclusive. And they're saying that this is drawing comparisons to The Departed and Goodfellas. Now,
who did Goodfellas?
I think it's him.
It was also Scorsese?
Mm-hmm. I like Goodfellas. And Casino. I think that's also him.
It's not good.
That they all are like crime.
Yeah.
I mean, that crime movies is his lane.
I mean, yeah, it's his lane, but it's just like
I wish it was something
his
different.
filmography is kind of
I was kind of like he also did that movie I think with Robert De Niro,
The Irishman. That was also a crime movie that went to Netflix.
That's why I was like, I don't know. I'm not wild. I'm not like, ooh, wow. I'm just kind of like, oh, we've probably seen a version of this before, and I don't take The Rock seriously. So
I like The Rock and stuff. I like The Rock movies, but I don't go to see Rock movies because The Rock acting is Rock's acting is not the attraction to
right.
It's
like
usually the visual effects or whatever
the
ridiculous
silly
explosion.
plot,
yeah.
right? Or the supporting cast. Like Jungle Cruise was a cute movie, but it was like simple. So what's the last thing we seen him in? Was it Jungle Cruise? Maybe he was in Fast and Furious at the end.
Jungle Cruise.
I was trying to say it was the last thing we seen The Rock in.
Oh.
And we didn't see Red 1, so.
We did not see Moana.
Nope. Oh, I did. I have not seen Moana 2.
Okay, so he was in Moana,
okay.
And we saw him in Black Adam. We watched it. We did watch it. We're bored.
Okay, so the last thing we saw him in was probably Black Adam.
Yes.
And the last thing I saw him in was Moana 1.
Which.
Not 2.
Oh, well, yeah. His Fast X is credited under Black Adam because of the post-credit scene, but I don't count that.
Yeah, that was post-credit scene. Yeah. I don't think I count that either. So we'll see. I mean, good for him for. I feel like he took that Dave Bautista comment to heart, where Dave Bautista was like he didn't want to be another Rock. He wanted to be like a serious actor, and the Rock's like, oh.
That's funny because Dave Bautista just said that he had been calling James Gunn to see if there was a place for him in DC Comics, and he said that there wasn't a place for him yet. So I think Bautista just wants to work. He should stop doing interviews. Right.
And he also said that he didn't want to do any like silly big guy roles anymore.
What do you think James Gunn has for you, Dave? What do you think? Right. You think he's making Martin Scorsese style crime thrillers
Probably
in the DC
not.
universe?
But I will say though, out of the wrestlers turns actor, I actually would put Dave Bautista at the top.
Dave Bautista has more serious roles.
Yes, and I feel like he's able to I don't know. I put him, then The Rock, then John Cena.
I mean, Dave Bautista has been in less movies, but better written films.
There it is.
He was in the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Right.
Not all of them, but he was in James Bond.
Right.
He did just have that.
Yeah, we didn't watch that. That action thriller.
Action thriller.
Was that Amnesia, but don't got amnesia.
No, but
I didn't watch that.
I like Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy more than most of The Rock's characters and anything else. This isn't a Dave Bautista Rock comparison, but we're
talking about wrestlers turns actors in general. And it's
Yeah.
only like 3 big ones because there's also John Cena, who he seems like a really
he's trending more in the Rock direction.
He seems like a really nice guy, but I cannot.
John also just wants to work. There's a difference. John and Batista both want to work. John doesn't badmouth that he rolls because John just takes whatever is given to him.
Like Matchbox.
Right. Dave wants to be selective.
Right. And then The Rock is The Rock at this point, so he can kind of do anything
we all wants.
Things. Really. I mean, he ain't changing no hierarchies of power, but he get roles and he got money and cash.
Yeah.
So. And we'll see. I would like something different from Martin, but Martin got a style, so sure.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
I thought this was exciting news, but then I was also side-eyeing, but I was like, oh, it's still exciting. An Extraction TV show has been greenlit at Netflix. So if you have listened to us at any amount of time, y'all know how much we like the Extraction movies. We think they should be in theaters. They star Chris Hemsworth as the lead, and they are produced by the Russo brothers. So they're doing a spinoff that's going to be led by Omar Sy, who we just saw in, I think the last thing we saw him in was Book of Clarence.
Yeah.
Maybe. But he was also in Lupin, which I did not watch, but is very popular. He was also in Jurassic World. He was Chris Pratt's friend.
He was in two out of 3.
And then he was in The Killer, which we did. I didn't watch that, but he was like the detective or cop or whatever in that. There will be 8 episodes of this miniseries, and maybe get renewed. We don't know, but right now it's just 1 season. This is also going to be produced by the Russo brothers, so it's probably going to have the same feel and action. This follows a mercenary who is Psy as he navigates it's literally the same plot as Extraction, but basically dangerous missions, hostages. He's in Libya this time, and he's trapped between armies and factions and bad folks, and trying to deal with his emotional trauma and all that jazz. The Extractions don't really have deep plots. We're here for the action.
I will watch this.
Sure.
But this is exactly what people are afraid of happening to James Bond.
Oh, I should have put this as a note on here, and I didn't. But
I could add it to the Buncha Crunch.
Yeah, you're right. Because, and the crazy part about Extraction is, we're getting a 3rd one, so it's officially a franchise. But those movies could have been bigger to justify a spinoff. And I was just kind of like, why are y'all spinning off a streaming movie? Like, when that seemed like you playing with fire
to keep people on the platform, because they can't make the movies they'll probably be able to make this faster than they can put the films together. Omar Sy's less famous and probably less busy than Chris Hemsworth.
That's
so he's
true.
probably more available. The Russos are always available.
Well, they right. Well, they're about to not be available because they're about to do Avengers. Doomsday and
but they always seem to be working on something.
Yeah, that's true.
So
you're right. I will check this out because I liked Extraction, but it's also kind of like, why did Disney need to spin off?
It didn't.
Sure. It's gonna be the same. They just swapping out Chris with Omar. Literally.
Yeah.
If you've seen Extraction, you know the plot is a little thin.
So I guess he works at the same firm.
He has. I don't know. And we've just never happened to see him work with Chris. Because he's like in Libya and Chris,
I guess they all just do separate missions. They never team up.
Okay.
I guess they're supposed to team up in this new Extraction one. So
correct. And go against some guy that we don't know exists or whatever.
Yeah. So. Maybe they're just setting the groundwork because Extraction 3 will probably be the last one.
I could see that.
And they just want to keep it going.
And they'll probably continue the series. You know what's funny about Netflix stuff is that even if people don't watch it, they'll be like, season 2. And you'll be like, did anybody watch this? What about the other thing that we wanted that didn't get renewed? And they're like, but we like this one better.
Also watched.
Right. I was like, we're picking and choosing. This one's going to get greenlit. But
it works.
Good for Omar.
For them.
It worked right.
Whatever. It doesn't make any sense, but it works for them. Unless they're cooking the books. They're posting like growth every quarter.
So. Y'all are signing up. Netflix said y'all signing up. Y'all tell if that's a lie or not. Because they did the password lockdown and the subscriptions went up instead of down. We're all like, no, don't do that.
Or maybe everybody's just watching Grey's Anatomy.
Over and over.
Yeah.
And Bridgerton.
Maybe it's not a Netflix originals that's keeping people on the platform.
I could see that because they do have a lot of like throwbacks. Like A Different World is on there now.
All the Shondaland stuff goes there immediately after it's done.
Yeah, because you never hear a bunch about the movies, but you always hear about...
Netflix talks about the movies. Nobody else does.
Right. Because like the new one that just came... I've heard...
The Gorge? Is that a Netflix?
That's Apple. Also, they don't ever... Something else that ain't getting advertised. The Angela Bassett 020. Jeez, not Zero Day.
Yes, and I didn't know that was a series.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I thought it was a movie. I don't know why.
It's like a 6-part series, and then I was like, I forgot this was even. And I don't know if they put it all out at once, because I want to check it out.
I don't know, because I saw somebody say they watched the first episode and it was decent.
Okay, so then it must be a week-to-week situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't trust Netflix in terms of keeping things going. So even if this first season is good, we not gonna don't get too attached.
Yeah, I watched Terminator 0 with the expectation that it would never come back.
I like Terminator. I actually quite enjoyed that.
I did, but I finished it like, okay.
Right, because you're like, why bother?
My mind can fill in where everybody else ends up at the end because they kind of planted the Easter eggs in the finale, but I had the expectation like, this is never coming back.
Terminator 0 was, because it was like a different take. And I was like, oh, y'all actually came up with something different. Yeah. And then ain't heard nothing about it.
No, we're about to get 20 Arcane spinoffs though.
Probably. And now we're getting TV show spinoffs for the Netflix movies. And I'm like, this is dangerous territory.
The substance is taking the substance.
We'll see. Like I will probably check this out because I like Extraction. I like Omar Sy. Sure, Netflix. Y'all weird. That's all I got to say.
They're strange. But it worked, so
Right.
What do we know?
Right.
All right, so that's all for the movie news for this week. Let's roll into the trailer park.
Toot. I be big.
Okay, first trailer on the list is coming out April 4th. This is for Freaky Tales. This is a action thriller that stars Pedro Pascal, Ben Mendelsohn, who we just saw in Secret Invasion, who's dead, so he won't be back. Jay Ellis.
They've retconned that show. I'm officially calling it. They're going to act like that show never happened. And he's going to be alive. Calling it right now on this episode.
Nah, what they're going to do is they're just going to retcon the entire MCU after Secret Wars.
No, I don't want to start over.
They're absolutely starting over.
I don't want to.
They're 100%
There's too many stories to be starting over. Anyway, that's a separate conversation. Go
ahead. Jay Ellis, Normani, who used to make music. Dominic, I'm joking.
I hope she don't listen to me.
I
was wondering where, because Coco Jones just came out with a single, and people like, oh, this should be for Normani. And people like, y'all don't listen to it.
Every time an R&B song comes out, somebody's like, where's Normani?
It should be for Normani. Oh, Lord. Different topic again.
Different topic. Shout out to Normani. Mm-hmm. Dominic Thorne, who we just saw in Black Panther, and we'll be watching her in Ironheart.
Correct.
Angus Cloud, R.I.P. We last saw him in Abigail.
Yes.
And Tom Hanks, who I don't know when the last time I saw Tom Hanks, but
we
are the captain now.
Right. No explanation needed.
So this is strange. It is about
I thought it was a horror movie.
So an NBA star, a corrupt cop, a female rap duo, teenage punks, neo-Nazis, and a debt collector embark on a collision course in 1987 Oakland, California.
That's what the trailer gives. Collision course. Because I have no idea. I had to look it up and put this here because I was like, I've watched the trailer. I have no idea what this movie is about. I recognize a lot of faces, but what's the plot? I thought it was like a retro horror movie based on the trailer and based on a movie poster, and then I watched it and was like, oh, this is like serious.
Yeah, it reminds me of The Warriors. Remember The Warriors?
Yeah.
Where it was about different gangs clashing. Because West Side Story was just two gangs, but The Warriors was like multiple people.
Different people in
clashing over the streets of New York. This looks like they're clashing over the streets of Oakland.
Okay. It does look like that.
Yeah.
Set back in time. And, well, obviously, 87.
The Warriors was 79. So.
Oh, okay.
Close.
People saying it's described as a anthology action comedy film.
Yeah, because it seems like it has a lot of moving parts.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like it'll follow Pedro Pascal. It just seems like he's one of the main characters. We're following a bunch of people.
Funny fact, it's going to be narrated by Too Short.
Yeah, I could tell that from the voice. You couldn't recognize his voice in the trailer?
No. I'm used to the song.
Too Short has a very distinct voice. So I knew Too Short was.
I had to watch trailer again. I didn't catch that at all. I didn't catch that at all. He has
a very distinct voice.
Okay.
Yeah. So this looks interesting in the trailer.
Yeah.
What I will say is that the trailer, I don't know how to explain it, but the trailer makes it seem like the movie is going to be much slower than the trailer gives on.
Yeah, there's a lot of action in the trailer.
But they all take place in like single scenes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're jumping we're jumping, like we start off, I think, with Pedro, and then Pedro show up maybe 2 more times.
Yeah.
But then we see like 12 other people. And I'm like, what's the plot?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that.
The plot seems all over the place. I like ensemble cast. I like pretty much everybody that's in this.
True.
I need to see another trailer.
Yeah, it's actually premiered at Sundance already earlier this year.
This trailer was for grabbing everybody's attention.
Yes.
We need a plot trailer. Yeah. It seems like there's going to be a home invasion and a robbery plot at some point, but it doesn't seem like that's the main focus. That just seems like that's Pedro Pascal's corner of the story.
Yeah, it seems like he is trying to get out of whatever job he does. Like, this is supposed to be a last job, but I don't know what the job.
He's got a baby on the way or something.
Yeah, he's trying to they're trying to rob, I guess, Jay Ellis's character, but I don't know where all the other people fit in.
Yeah, me either.
So, we'll see. Well, I mean, maybe. I like ensemble cast, like you said.
Yeah,
it's dark, though. It's, like, visually dark. I turned up my laptop and was like, oh, this is it. This is as bright as it gets. Not a fan of dark movies, but we'll see.
Freaky Tales is going to be directed by Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden. They were both the directors. They co-directed Captain Marvel 1.
Huh.
Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. They're a duo.
I
they
can
have the same
see
wiki.
That. Wikipedia ain't bother to split them up.
No, it's just Anna Boda and Ryan Fleck.
Interesting. I almost can say I can kind of see it just based on this trailer, like how it's edited and cut.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of see a little I'm okay. They have a style.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. It might put it up a notch. I like Captain Marvel though.
Yeah. I mean, it looks colorful.
Dark and colorful.
Yeah.
Like there's colors, but it's dark.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of borrows the hue from Maxine.
Boom.
Which is also an 80s film.
There it is.
So,
okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. And Captain Marvel took place in the past.
Is that their thing?
Hey.
Okay.
Captain Marvel made $1 billion. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Dope Thief. This is a new movie that's coming out on Apple TV Plus March 14th. This is going to star Brian Tyree Henry, who we just saw in Transformers 1.
Yep.
And Wagner Moore, who we last saw in Civil War.
Correct.
This follows two men who pose as DEA agents who rob a house that is central to a drug operation, a large narcotics operation.
Never good.
And it turns out that they got caught.
Wrong
and
house,
the
wrong
people
day.
are looking for them now.
Right.
So
it looks like a lot of chaos,
Mhm.
death,
Mhm.
fighting. But I feel like the acting's probably going to be acting.
it looks like
Somebody
it's
check it out.
going to be well directed because it's Ridley Scott.
Oh, and it's actually a series.
Oh, it's a series.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's still gonna be well directed because it's Ridley Scott. It's gonna be well acted because it's Brian Tyree Henry and Wagner Moura.
Uh-huh.
Personally,
Jay's not interested.
no. I'm not
I knew
interested
you
in
gonna
this.
say. I think I'll check out the pilot just to get a feel for. I don't know. It depends on if the show like made me depressed. It was kind of like how I felt about the Penguin. Like
Yeah.
everybody was terrible,
Mhm.
and you're kind of like, all y'all need to go. If it's giving me that vibe, I might. I don't know.
Yeah, their
skip
life
out.
already seems the worst, and then they robbed somebody who they shouldn't, and now their life gets even worse. So,
Right, and we don't know if they're like robbing with good intentions or not. We don't get that from the
they're
trailer.
probably trying to make some money to get out of.
Get by.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It looks good. I don't know if it's going
It
to be
looks
my
good.
flavor
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
show that I want to watch in that time. We'll see.
yeah. I'm trying to think of like another one, like Den of Thieves or something. Was
Okay.
similar.
Okay.
But I wasn't really interested in that. I also didn't care for the Ben Affleck one where they like.
Oh, The Town?
Yeah, I didn't care for the town.
Oh, I actually think somebody on The Town is involved with this.
I hear it's like critically acclaimed, and
is good.
everybody else who's seen it loved it.
It's
but,
one of Ben Affleck's best movies. But if you don't like that type of movie, then this is exactly like this.
Yeah.
So
it looks like that.
You probably gonna skip out on it, but it is given The Town for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Ridley Scott isn't directing any episodes of Alien Earth as we know so far.
Maybe it's busy. Maybe. Maybe they won't pay him enough. This is probably budget.
That makes sense.
Probably
yes.
budget. They're probably like, we can't afford you.
The next trailer on the list is F1. This comes out June 27, 2025. Stars Brad Pitt and Damson Idris. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, and it's about Brad Pitt being a legendary F1 racer, and he's mentoring Damson Idris, who's coming up in the ranks.
It's Top Gun on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about this. This is like an extremely high budgeted film, and
It's
people
extremely high budget.
I think this is coming from Apple.
Yeah, they just spent like $300 million on the last.
People are worried
Brad Pitt
about
movie.
this, how this is going to be received in terms of like, is it going to make its money back?
Is it going to
situation.
make it to theaters? Because Apple pulled Wolves a week before.
Well, I don't think Brad Pitt would go down for that.
He went down with Wolves.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Right.
So is Apple gonna pull another scam?
This one probably costs too.
Because
and Wolves cost too much too.
June is close. They
Close
haven't.
enough.
They've only put out 2 trailers for this. A teaser.
Barely trailers. These are
teaser.
like minute and a half snippets.
The behind the scenes video of
Yeah, I
this
skipped
is
that part.
3 minutes long, but the trailer is 1 minute and 27 seconds.
Right.
So
They're
that's
trying to-
backwards.
They're trying to sell us on the behind the scenes.
They're not advertising it very well. They didn't advertise Wolves very well. They also poured $5,000 billion behind Wolves, and they're doing the same thing with this. So I just wonder if this is going to go to
I
theaters.
don't understand Apple's marketing strategy.
They don't have one.
They got money though. They have the money to like have any marketing budget they want. In the movies, they like The Gorge. Is it The Gorge?
Yes.
People
watch that.
Right, but like I ain't seen no ad, no nothing.
I think Severance has done a lot to bring attention to the other things.
Oh,
that are
you're
on.
probably right because they said Severance is like surpass Ted Lasso as the most watched.
I tweeted
TV
him.
show.
I said that wasn't hard. All you had to do was mention it once because you don't mention any of your shows at all. So all you have to do is say, "Hey, we have a show," and now it's the most popular.
They could like push notifications to people's phones.
They do. That's the only advertisement they do.
Oh.
I get a push notification every Friday about Severance, and every time I look at it, like, thanks, Apple. Did you tell anybody else?
Wait, did you talk about another show?
Right.
Why just Severance?
They only sent. Well, they gave me a push notification for White Lotus.
Okay.
So I think Severance has done a lot for people. I think that week that they went free, that weekend, and then everybody discovered Severance. I think that's when everybody like finished Severance and then looked everywhere else because
you're right.
Apple TV's been around forever.
And it's got good stuff on it.
And Severance only is in its second season. So it's ridiculous. Like how did Severance beat Ted Lasso? In popularity.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Apple TV has good stuff, but they ain't paying me to market, and they not paying their own people to market, so whatever.
Right.
I mean, we'll talk about it because we personally like it, but we'll see how this goes. I don't know.
I'm happy for Damson Idris. I mean, I'm indifferent to Brad Pitt. He's always in stuff. So.
Yeah. I ain't seen Brad Pitt nothing good in a while, though, personally, because I didn't watch Bullet Train. I forgot Brad Pitt shifted into being a executive producer because I'm like, he wasn't in Bob Marley One Love, but he was a producer on Bob Marley One Love. He
was a producer on the Underground Railroad.
Okay. Babylon. That was nope, I didn't see Babylon.
You just gonna gloss over that?
I was like that. Well, that's the last movie that I was trying to say. Nope, I didn't see that.
So the last thing we saw Brad Pitt in.
The Lost City. I hated that.
That was the last thing you saw Brad Pitt in. I did not see The Lost City because you said it was so bad that I should skip it. So
it's like Shazam,
I didn't see it.
And I'm glad I saved your time.
I guess I saw him in.
Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I did, but I was trying to think if I've seen him in something else since then. But no, he hasn't been acting that much.
He shifted.
So
he shifted to be a more executive producer nowadays, which he working.
Yeah.
His name on a lot of stuff. Moonlight? I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of black stuff. I mean, not that he can't be. It's just surprising.
It's just funny. It's just funny, right? You're just like, there's a lot of black stuff.
Yeah.
Bob Marley.
Interesting. Okay, so F1 is coming out on June 27th. We will go see it we don't have anything else on the slate.
I don't think we do. I think I've gotten to June. Oh, that's the same weekend Megan 2.0 come out.
Sorry, Brad.
I don't know about that.
Oh, you know what? They're absolutely going to pull it then.
You think? Oh, come on. Megan, that's them two different audiences. I mean, not for us. We gonna see.
I think Megan only got more popular after people missed seeing the first one in theaters.
Well, yes.
So
you know what? If Megan made more than a movie, a F1 prestige Hollywood movie on the same weekend, I would crack up so bad.
That's if it makes the theaters. So
if Apple don't change their plans, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
We're still out on that. So.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting weekend to watch out for. But we're probably seeing Megan.
The next trailer on the list is for Bring Her Back. This comes out May 30th. This is from the horror directing duo of Talk to Me.
Very creepy trailer, might I add.
Oh, this is absolutely for me. So this is going to star Sally Hawkins. What did you last see Sally Hawkins in?
Her name sounds familiar. I've seen it in the theaters. Or I watched it. It's a horror movie?
No.
Oh.
It's a monster movie.
Godzilla?
Yes.
Who was she in Godzilla?
She was in King of Monsters. She got eaten by Godira. She was Ken Watanabe's assistant.
Okay.
And then after she died, he got sad, and then he sacrificed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was also in Shape of Water. She was the lead actress.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Didn't see that.
Yeah, but she's been around for a very, very, very long time.
Gotcha.
So what is this about? It is about, surprisingly, this does not come across in the trailers, but it is about two foster children who witness a mysterious ritual, a bizarre ritual at the secluded home of their foster mother, who is Sally Hawkins. It doesn't give off the vibe that it is going to be about kids. I mean, it's going to be following children. It seems like it's going to be following Sally Hawkins, but that's not what
sort?
Well, they're adopted, so.
Okay.
But that's what the synopsis is on the wiki.
Yeah.
The trailer seems to indicate that her daughter died.
Yeah.
And she is trying to resurrect her.
it's a lot of ritualing going on in the trailer, like a lot. I'm like, okay, who are y'all trying to unearth? Because something from the past is trying to come forward.
There's some scenes of Sally Hawkins at a funeral with a child-sized coffin.
Yeah.
And then you can continuously hear her voice talking about he's going to bring her back. And then you see
words on the screen that say, like, she died or bring her back. Or...
And then you can hear her saying he's going to bring her back.
Right.
Then there's, like, images of, like, some girl who looks desiccated. She looks a little bit like Reagan in The Exorcist.
Yeah. She's a little wet or something.
Yeah, very sweaty. And it looks like that they're doing some type of ritual on her. She's naked in a circle of chalk. There's a naked man who walks up to her and puts his hand on her forehead.
Hope he at least got some pants on.
There's some bald child standing in the yard in the dark.
Yeah, it's
very Talk to Me.
It's giving horror.
So Talk to Me was about the dead. It was about communing with the dead. This looks like it's going to be along the same veins, which is exciting. For me.
Sure.
Talk to Me was creative.
We've added this to the schedule. So this is going to be one. Does Cheryl sleep through this or not?
We absolutely.
Or sleep after this, I should say.
I will say we absolutely don't have to go see this.
Ain't nothing else.
I will watch it.
Ain't nothing
However,
else
we don't have to watch it if you're going to be scarred. I don't want you to be scarred. It looks like it's going to scar you.
I'm still trying to determine if I can handle a woman in the yard. I'm like, it looked like there's some ghoul or goblin going on in here.
The thing about the woman in the yard doesn't scare me as much because it seems like you'll know where she is most of the movie.
Okay.
So as long as you have your eyes on the killer's not as scary.
This trailer didn't scare me though.
This looks ghoulish. It looks twitchy.
Yeah.
There's scenes of it looks like Sally Hawkins is laying on the ground and her stomach is vibrating. She's got like bloody handprints on it.
Because she's like having a seizure or something. Yeah.
It's looking a little.
Yeah. What did we see a trailer of for the monkey where somebody was
together?
Oh, and I covered my She was bending. As soon as she started bending backwards, I was like, nope. Yeah. I'm looking somewhere else.
I think it's the first time they put a trailer out for that too. So.
Yeah, this is a question mark. I need to see another trailer. Jay's telling me I ain't gonna be able to handle it. So
we can talk about Together.
That was also at Sundance, I think, and people said it was like the next. They were comparing it to something else that just came out.
Substance.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it's like a body horror psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
So this stars Dave Franco and Alison Brie. This comes out it came out at Sundance January 26, 2025. There's no theatrical release is August 1st now.
Oh wow.
So
kind of early, right?
Yeah, why are they showing trailers for this so early?
I don't know. People are going to forget, literally.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's directed by Michael Shanks, who is an Australian filmmaker who is known for YouTube and this.
Okay.
So.
You got to start somewhere.
And it is going to be about a couple. So after moving to the countryside, a supernatural encounter starts to transform a couple's love, their lives, and their flesh. So it seems like they've moved onto like haunted grounds.
Yeah.
And it's transforming them. There are scenes in it, in the trailer of like dogs eating each other, but not like devouring each other, like combining through the mouth.
There's a drawing of a dog that's clearly meshing together.
We also see images of actual wolves in the forest that are doing the same thing. It looks like Alison Brie is like she's a teacher, it seems, but she's also like seeing freaky images.
Yeah.
She's doing twitchy stuff.
The guy is like in the shower and he's like not beating his head up against the wall, but somehow he's cracking a tile with his forehead, and he like. I don't know. It's giving a lot of weirdness.
It is. It looks interesting, though.
Jay will watch this.
I will watch this.
I can only do so much.
You should watch Infinity Pool.
Nope.
Okay. It's not scary.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't believe it.
I feel like this gives me Infinity Pool vibes. That was with Mia Goth.
Where it's not scary, but it's creepy.
And the other Skarsgård brother. Yes. It's not scary. It's creepy.
All right.
Like 7.
I'll put it after the menu, maybe.
Did you watch the menu?
I'm getting there.
Okay, please watch the menu.
We're about to go on a trip, okay? And I will find some way.
Watch it on a plane.
To watch the menu on the plane. Fine.
Okay, so that is all the trailers for this week. Let's dive into this bunch crunch.
All right, we got a bunch of crunching going on today. So first up, Will Smith did an interview on YouTube or something. So I don't have like this typed out, but according to the sources, they say that he's confirmed both I Am Legend 2 and Hancock 2 are in the works. So he said him and Michael B. Jordan have fleshed out plot details for I Am Legend 2, and they want to approach Zendaya for Hancock 2. Awkward silence.
I Am Legend 2
Sure.
is not a surprise.
No, we've
thought
talked
that was
about
already
that.
confirmed, but I guess this is the first time he's speaking on it.
I think he's continually speaked on. This is like our latest piece. It's starting to
Okay.
get like Star Wars, where they keep talking about it, ain't putting out
Okay.
yet. I'm kind of like, well, where is it?
So they're clearly going for the alternate ending where he lived. If
Correct.
they're both going to star.
They've
in it.
already said that they are changing the first ending to do the second one. Yes.
Is old girl going to come back?
Nope.
No.
I don't know. She would have to though, right?
Her and her daughter. Yeah, she lived. They all
Right.
lived together.
Exactly.
So yeah,
I would think
she should
maybe.
come back. I like her.
I do like her.
Yeah.
I
What's
do
her
like
name?
her. I don't know.
Hold on.
But she been in a lot. She been in something else where I was like, oh, I like you. She always plays like a scientist or like a character who's like, they're like smart, but they're like,
She's always like an action star too.
Okay.
Alice Braga. So she was just in. I just saw her. I just watched Predators again.
Okay.
She was in one of the Predator films.
Okay.
The 2010 one that was good. But we just saw her in New Mutants.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And she was also in the Suicide Squad, whichever one was under James Gunn. She was the rebel leader.
Yes. Yes. She's always playing some sort of like knowledgeable character who's kind of like leading a charge to do something.
Oh, she was also in Elysium with Matt Damon.
Okay.
About the people living in the future. The rich people move to space.
Of course, always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they would bring her, or at least for a cameo. I don't know, or explain what happened to her.
Yeah.
Something. They had to do something.
So I would like to see Alice Braga back. They're not talking about her a lot, but I would like to see her back.
Mm-hmm.
Hancock 2 with Zendaya. I don't know if that's going to happen unless Zendaya wants to do it.
No.
If Zendaya wants to do it, she'll make it happen.
Do we need a Hancock too?
We don't.
Okay. Thank you.
But
Thank you.
I don't know where she would fit. I mean, I guess she can just be a different superhero.
Is she really going to do that after being a Spider-Man?
No, I don't think she's going to join this. It
I don't
says they're
think-
pursuing her.
I don't think Hancock 2 is happening. I Am Legend 2, sure. Hancock 2, no. The original wasn't good. Why would you do a sequel?
I don't know if Zendaya will go to Hancock.
I don't know if Will Smith needs to go to Hancock.
Is Charlize going to be in it?
He ain't said much else. I think this is the first we've heard of a Hancock 2 even being like a
Charlize
thought.
no.
Right. Well, did you hear the story where the guy who directed Hitch said there was a Hitch sequel coming out, but
I
he's
saw
not
that
doing
too.
it? I was like, "Are you spilling the beans? You're not supposed to." Like,
Yeah.
now, Will, what we should not do is do a bunch of sequels.
Or, I don't even know if these things have been like greenlit or if these are just things that he wants to do.
I feel like I Am Legend's probably on the deck, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
Am
know
Legend,
about
absolutely.
I don't know about no Hancock. I don't know about that.
This could be a trick. This could be like that Matrix thing he did where he had people think he was going to be in a Matrix. Then, then it was a Big Sean
You
video.
don't say you approach a movie star
Just a
with a movie
disappointment.
that ain't real. I don't. He can keep. I'll take I Am Legend. He can keep Hancock.
I was not that much of a fan of Hancock 1. It wasn't bad, but I haven't watched it but the one time. I liked the twist at the end. I thought that was well written.
Yeah, it's just weird movie.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Next on the list, Daniel Craig has dropped out of starring in Luca Guadagnino's Sergeant Rock for DC. This is going to be one of the 4 officially announced things that we know is coming from DC.
It's a
Superman, Creature
Elseworld.
Commandos, this, and Clayface is the only things we know officially coming out in DC.
Is this an Elseworld or is this an In-World?
This is supposed to be in world.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Because
already
it takes
getting-
place it's supposed to take
in the
place
canon.
in the past and a little bit
Okay.
in the present.
Now, if you guys are like, what the heck? So DC has this thing set up where there's Elseworld movies like The Batman with Robert Pattinson, and then there's, I'm going to call them in-world movies that are canon like Superman, Supergirl, as opposed to Marvel, who all the movies is connected except Secret Invasion. We don't care.
James Gunn is doing exactly what James Gunn said James Gunn wasn't going to do.
James does it every time.
And he chopped up his universe after saying it was all going to be conclusive and together, and even the video games are going to be in the same universe. And immediately,
Now he's saying everything is not.
he took the scissors to it.
Yeah,
So-
he says you don't need to see everything where like everything's not going to be connected.
Mhm.
But then he also says we're building a larger universe. Like, so is that connected? Is that not connected?
Right.
What did I do?
Exactly.
But anywho, Daniel Craig is out. Now rumor says that him and Luca on the fritz because of how queer turned out.
Who James Gunn is?
No, Daniel Craig and Luca, because you know Daniel Craig was a lead in Queer, and that was directed by Luca.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
it kind of did go
Why is
nowhere.
that Luca's fault?
it didn't go nowhere, and like I guess during like the the award campaign, like it didn't get no love.
I heard the movie wasn't good.
I read the spoiler and was like, what?
Somebody told me about the movie, and I heard the movie wasn't good. Oh, you told me about it.
It was me.
Yeah,
I was
didn't
like,
sound good.
The ending was like, what?
It didn't sound good.
So I don't know. The replacement, the person that's in place to talk, the person that's in place to replace Daniel Craig, I set myself up for that, is Jeremy Allen White from The Bear.
Lip.
Me and Jay was talking about this and was like, them ain't
Lip and Daniel Craig aren't the same.
Them ain't equal swapping it. Like,
and I like Jeremy Allen White.
Exactly. Ain't nothing against Jeremy Allen White, but I'm like,
I like Jeremy Allen White, but that's
like,
not the same.
That's like swapping Damson Idris Damson.
Let's not do this.
Okay. You know where I was
I know
going.
You were going, but let's not do
Never
this.
Mind.
But
it's an odd switch.
They're different calibers of actor. Not to say one is better than the other, but they just have different acting styles.
I couldn't see Jeremy Allen White doing like Blanc from Green Onion. Glass Onion.
I couldn't.
I just like
no. And Sergeant Rock is supposed to be an older, weathered character.
Right.
Jeremy Allen White isn't old enough. It doesn't matter if he comes across as old enough.
If you look at the comic, you would be like, I don't look like Jeremy Allen White.
Unless they're changing the story substantially and making him a lot younger.
The fact that they're doing this movie is interesting.
They shouldn't. I mean, we could start there. This movie shouldn't be made.
They going deep in the archives, boy.
It's a very out of the entire DC character list of DC characters. What James Gunn has chosen to focus on is very strange and puzzling.
Yeah, he's going in the...
He's burying all the leads, but that's what we want to see.
Yeah, like I get he wants to be the anti-Marvel, but I don't know. This is a different climate of audience
Marvel,
and people.
You can have your opinions on the success of Marvel films or the quality of Marvel films, but at least they all have main characters.
Yeah. I mean, and they were able to make like Thor like a big thing. Are we gonna make is Sergeant Rock gonna?
And that was his.
Can you do that now?
That's what James Gunn said his goal was. His goal was to do deep cut underdog characters and bring them to the forefront. But that doesn't always work. Sometimes those characters are deep cut because they're niche and they only appeal to very small groups of people.
Yeah.
Sergeant Rock probably only does.
Yeah, because let's be for real. Iron Man, Captain America, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. These are all white males that have a certain appeal about them because the Iron Man, he's playboy, philanthropist, billionaire. Captain America, he's like,
American
strong.
ideals.
Exactly. And then we got borderline Greek god
Thor.
Like there's a very much an appeal there for men, women, like on age range and all that. Sergeant Rock though.
Sergeant Rock is more like a
white man. I don't know.
Sergeant Rock is more closer parallel to like a Rick Flag. And Rick Flag didn't go over well until after he died.
Yeah, right.
People didn't miss Rick Flag until after he was killed.
I am people. I was like, well, I actually think I was liking that guy, and y'all killed him. Thank you very much. I'm checked out.
The choice to go with the Sergeant Rock film, I think this is a perfect opportunity to drop this.
No, they are. Luca just posted a picture in a DC sweatshirt.
We all got shirts.
I don't like that.
We all like merch.
I don't like that logo either. But anyway,
it's bad. But he said he's going to change it for different stuff.
Okay, good.
So that's not going to be the official logo for everything.
Okay. I whatever they had before, I liked better. But I don't work there, so whatever. So,
I think this is a great opportunity to stop production on this.
I don't know.
Give Luca something else.
Yeah.
Give Luca.
What?
I don't know.
I was gonna say what though.
Wonder Woman.
No, Wonder Woman needs to be directed by a woman. Just like Supergirl should have been directed by a woman.
What could Luca do?
I don't know.
I don't think a man has ever made a Wonder Woman movie.
Ain't that many?
No, there's only two.
I'm trying to think. I'm like,
she crapped the bed on that second one.
And you know what? She should be allowed to because
it was a pretty looking movie.
Males crap on beds.
Yeah,
movies.
That's true.
Joker 2 literally just came out.
That's
like,
true.
Give it a.
That's true.
I don't know. There's Clayface.
Give Patty her Star Wars movie.
Right. Okay. You know this. Star Wars really need to get it together.
Am I endorsing that?
You know what? I I'll go see
Sure.
it just to prove it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at least give it a chance. How
Top
about
Gun
that?
in space.
I will give it a chance.
Yeah.
Even if it turned out that I
What did
wasted my
DC
time.
Kaluka do?
I don't know. Mr. Terrific need a movie? You think he getting a movie? I'm going slightly outside.
I don't think Mr. Terrific. He doesn't need a movie. I like Mr. Terrific, but I have my own reservations about what would happen to a Mr. Terrific movie, and I would like him to just
be safe.
Be safe. Yes.
You know, this is slightly off topic, but I was like, outside of Brave New World, what and Black Panther, which I don't think you can compare those two movies, but anywho, what other black-led comic book movies do we got coming out?
Blade.
No, for real. Like, for real coming out.
It's coming out.
No, it's not. What? Okay, like what? Okay, say Blade. Boom. Okay, so that's 3. What we got on DC side?
Well, DC doesn't have none of the main Justice League characters are black. I mean, they added Cyborg in the Zack Snyder one to add a splash of color into the group, but none of the
Cyborg could get one.
None of the Justice League characters are. I mean, other than if they, well, you know what? I'll correct that. They're going with. It looks like they're gonna main the
Lantern,
the John Stewart Lantern.
Is he gonna get his own movie though?
Because typically he's not a main Green Lantern for the Justice League. He's like the alternate. So they're making him the main for the movies. So that's one. He's getting a show.
Does he get a movie though?
He's not. He's going to be in the Justice League movie probably.
Fine.
It seems like they decided to go the show route with
Green
Lantern.
Just thinking of like, you know, all this discord about Brave New World. And I was like, what other, besides Black Panther, what other black-led superhero movies we got coming? And I couldn't think of none.
None.
Or have we had besides Black Panther? Yeah.
None.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That was totally tangent, but something I was thinking about over the week.
If they make one, the world's on fire. So.
Just not gonna get on that soapbox.
Next bullet on the Buncha Crunch. We've been on bullet 2 for a while. Paradise Hulu series has been renewed for season 2.
Yes. So if you have not watched, Jay ain't watched it, but I've been feeling a mean. If you have not watched Paradise on Hulu, get started, and somehow have not been spoiled. Get started today because it is so good. I actually think I might try to wait to watch the last, because it's a weekly release, so you can binge it up till whatever's out. But I think I want to be able to watch the last 2 episodes together because that's how high my anxiety be after the show's over. I'll be like, I need more.
So black shows are doing good. This is a renewal for Paradise and for Alex Cross.
Yes. So, and I think Cross is actually already done.
Yeah, so Cross has got renewed for like 5 seasons.
Throw it out. Yes. Good for, well, the male-led ones. There was a female-led one that got canceled. But anywho.
Queen Latifah's holding it down on the Equalizer.
Equalizer. There we go.
So we're doing it.
We trying to get our little scraps while we can. But it's a very good show.
I hear good things about it. I don't think I'm going to watch it. I've tried. I just can't fit it into my schedule.
It is a lot of TV right now.
But I hear it's really good, and I do enjoy hearing about it. I do enjoy people talking about it, and I enjoy being filled in on it. So I feel like I've watched it. I just don't have the time.
It's like me with Game of Thrones. I was like, it sounds like it really good, but I'm not watching this. But I'm glad for y'all.
Super glad for Sterling. He also just won a podcasting award.
Yes, him and his wife's podcast just won an award, NAACP award.
Happy for you, even though you started after us. But you know, everybody's time got to come.
Listen,
he liked our post when we talked about American Fiction. So
we are a Sterling K. Brown fan club.
Exactly. This is a Stan podcast.
But if you have not watched it, you need to start it. Don't spoil yourself because I feel like that kills some of the mystery. But it's a very good whodunit. If you like a whodunit, you will like this for sure.
Yeah. So good for him. Marvel pauses development on the Nova, Strange Academy, and Terror Inc. TV series. Good. I think that's great.
Right. Slice it out.
Absolutely.
Goodbye. Because 1, y'all complain about everything anyway. 2, they said quality over quantity. So get them out of here. Yeah. Next.
People seem to be really disappointed about Nova. There's enough Novas. There's like 50 Novas in the Marvel universe. The best one is Captain Marvel. It's not even Nova. They all have the same powers. We've already got Brie Larson and Tiana Paris, and they changed Kamala Khan's powers a little to make them light-based. We don't need a Nova.
If y'all gonna complain about all the stuff that Marvel put out that y'all say y'all can't keep up with, that y'all force yourselves to watch then they like, sure, we'll put out less stuff.
Yeah.
Next.
But they would show up for this because this is a male Captain Marvel.
Man, please.
So
get out of here.
It's the same. It's literally the same.
Give us season 2 of X-Men 97. I don't want to hear about none else of this stuff.
Yeah, X-Men 97. Where's that? Let's focus on that.
Let's focus on that.
Let's get them
Marvel
live
television.
action. Yeah.
Boom. Hawkeye season 2? Sure. I'll take that.
We celebrate these cuts.
I ain't mad. People was like, tone up. I'm like, I actually think this is a good thing.
Strange Academy is weird. We don't need that. We need to figure out what Doctor Strange and Charlize Theron are about to do.
Yeah, well, that one was supposed to be centered around Wong. That Strange Academy. That's what the scooper said.
But
I don't know.
He's also with Doctor Strange.
I don't know. Maybe that's why they cut it. Maybe they were like, you know what? We can't pull this together, and we can't have everybody everywhere all at once.
And where were they going to put these? Because Kevin said they were only doing like 1.5 things a year. So this was going to start, what, in 2029?
Right. And you know what's interesting about that? Next year we have what? Doomsday and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Next, a year after that, we have what's first? Secret. Then we'll have 2027. We'll have Secret Wars and one other thing. I was like, if they actually are gonna do 2 movies a year, it's gonna be like 2030 before we get like Shang-Chi 2, Black Panther 3, Thor 5. Like, are we gonna be old by the time all these come out? I mean,
probably.
I get it,
but it's gonna get rebooted.
No, don't start over. I don't want to start over.
2030, we'll be back at Infinity War.
No. I want to continue on with who we have. I don't want to reboot. I don't want Iron Man again. I don't want Steve again. I don't want another Thor. No.
Yeah.
No. I will be upset if they do that. I will be so upset. I will be upset.
Next crunch of the list is Spider-Man 4 is moving 1 week to July 31st, now 2 weeks after the Odyssey.
So maybe we were confused. We thought the Odyssey and Spider-Man were coming out together. And apparently they have always been a week apart.
Yeah.
Whatever. Either way, now instead of being a week apart, they're 2 weeks apart. So congratulations to Tom Holland and Zendaya for not having to promote 2 movies 7 days apart. Now they can do it 14 days apart.
And that saved the Odyssey's second week.
Yeah, right, probably. Yeah.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
So
Odyssey will have a good second week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They'll both have, Spider-Man's second week was guaranteed.
That's probably another $1 billion movie.
This is great news for Christopher Nolan, I think, because even though Christopher Nolan movies are better than all the Spider-Man movies, to me personally.
I don't know about that Homecoming pretty good though. That twist at Homecoming.
You mean the first one?
Yes.
What was the twist in Homecoming?
With the Vulture being her dad.
Oh, the Michael Keaton twist.
Ain't nothing topping that.
That was good.
I mean, Nolan's good.
And he was Batman. So Batman being the surprise villain in the Spider-Man movie. And they have they compare Batman and Spider-Man and they're like villains and their story arcs all the time.
Now I ain't gonna say
both had dead parents.
You're right. Like I respect Nolan's filmography, but Homecoming was junk.
Homecoming was good, but I think I really like Christopher Nolan stuff more than Spider-Man stuff. I love comic book stuff.
I ain't gonna debate.
I've also never been huge on Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man, but I'm not huge on Spider-Man.
Like you were like a Batman or a.
I don't even think what is my favorite comic book character?
You don't talk about Batman too much, do you? I
don't think I have a favorite. I'm pretty spread across the universes.
That's fair.
I enjoy a lot of the Marvel universe. I don't think I have a favorite. Honestly, I don't think I have a favorite.
Monica. Mine's Monica.
Maybe Wanda. Wanda had a great comic book series. She's one of my favorite book series.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, this is good for all parties involved. The movie theaters are excited either way. They're like, yes, money. This promo run will be interesting for both Zendaya and Tom Holland since they are in both of these movies. So, but we don't know how much Zendaya is in either one.
So, they said that Destin Daniel Cretton is doing this one. Spider-Man 4.
That I'm very excited about.
He just did Shang-Chi. But they also said they're going to introduce a new cast of side characters, which makes sense because Spider-Man has a lot of side characters. We still haven't had Harry. We don't know if they're going to do Gwen, but we still haven't had a Gwen.
Right. Black Cat, people have been asking for.
We don't have an Otto Octavius in this. All the scientists that he works with when he's growing up. He has a lot of side characters. So that's fine. Sure.
Which is seen in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man quite a bit.
Yeah. Tombstone. He's got a lot of other people. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy that Daniel Destin
Cretton.
DDC is directing this. I'm looking for it.
Daniel Cretton.
Sure. Because I really like Shang-Chi. So
Yeah.
this, looking forward to this. This is going to be a huge, this is probably going to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
And he'll be good.
Speaking of Shang-Chi, what's his name? Simu Liu is trying to get a Sleeping Dogs movie made.
I saw that.
Which is it's a video game.
Uh-huh.
It's a crime-based video game that takes place in Hong Kong. The main character plays a Hong Kong detective who's like trying to like solve crimes.
Okay.
It's kind of like a GTA clone.
Okay.
But based in Hong Kong.
I like him as far as acting.
Yeah, it's good.
And he like, y'all hanging me out to dry on this sequel, so I'm gonna have to do other stuff.
Yeah, you gotta find other work. People are busy.
Listen,
you gotta do something.
That's part of being an actor.
Next scoop of crunch is Delroy Lindo has been cast in upcoming Godzilla X Kong sequel. This is the second person who's been cast in this. The first person, the main vampire guy from Sinners, has also been casted in this too.
Oh, okay. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah,
I see. I'm down for Delroy and literally anything.
Yeah.
So I hope he don't die.
Expanding the cast. Cool. I wonder what this one is going to be about and what the new monster is going to be that they're facing. Did they ever say that?
No. I think they're keeping the script under wraps for right now.
Cool. Excited for that.
Hope he lives.
So they'll both have jobs right after Sinners is done running its circuit. So.
And then maybe he'll get to be on Blade. I'm just kidding. It's not happening.
It's not.
It's not happening.
Next scoop of crunch. I'm surprised you didn't have this one on the list.
I missed this one.
Amy Adams has been casted in Cape Fear for Apple TV alongside Javier Bardem.
She must be the mom.
I think there's only like one other woman in Cape Fear, right?
The daughter.
She's not the daughter because she's Amy Adams.
She must be the mom.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
So Amy Adams and Javier Bardem. Wait, we don't know who Javier Bardem is playing.
He is.
He's husband?
He's playing the killer.
He's the killer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we don't know who's the husband.
Not yet.
Or a kid.
Nope.
We have Amy Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They both fit those roles.
I like Amy Adams.
I do too.
So that'll work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see this and, make sure I keep up with it because Apple's not going to promote it. So.
Cape Fear, Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro. Another parallel.
Correct. This one's not a crime movie, though. Like a crime boss movie. This is a crazy serial killer movie.
Yes, this is a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
so
he
that's
does
good.
do different stuff.
Yeah, and it'll go to Apple TV, so maybe they'll talk about it.
No, they won't.
No.
You get a push notification.
Next scoop of crunch. Amazon MGM acquires creative control of James Bond franchise.
Terrible.
007 franchise.
Terrible news, guys. Awful.
So this is the descent of the James Bond franchise,
Oh,
which
Lord.
nothing good can stay. So this is
It's a good run.
Yeah, it was a good run.
With 30-something James Bond movies.
It's been around for a long time.
The reason why this is terrible is because Amazon's about to piecemeal this to garbage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we about to get video games.
Animated series, video games, reality show, spin-offs.
Didn't they already do a reality show for James Bond?
They did, but it's going to
More
be under
reality
Amazon MGM this time.
It's not good, y'all. They, what's his name? Jeff Bezos was like, who do you guys want cast as James Bond? Like, don't be asking the fans. Because everybody going to say, Henry Cavill. Like,
They
no,
did.
we're done. We're done. We're done
You know
with
what?
James Bond.
You know what? Do it.
No.
Give it to him.
No.
I'm not going to see it, but give it to him so everybody who wants it to be Henry Cavill can go see it and then talk about how they made a bad decision.
Yeah, James is interesting because not too long ago, Barbara Broccoli was talking about how she was sick of Amazon because they were trying to chop up James Bond. And she must have been like, you know what? I'm tired. Do whatever
I think
you
they
want.
should.
Cut
at
the
this
check
point,
and leave me out of it.
And I'm with Barbara. At this point, you got it. Give it to Henry Cavill. Every now and then, you got to let people touch the stove to see that it's hot.
But she'll
Even
never
though-
get the rights back.
Even though everybody else is burned already because they already touched the stove and they told you it's hot. Sometimes you got to let people touch the stove.
I mean, she,
So-
her and the brother still get a cut, like still have a
yeah.
percentage of it, but Amazon
She ain't sell it.
has most of. She's still gonna get her money,
Right.
But creative control wise, Amazon has this. But Jay's right; it's about to be spinoffs. M about to get a spinoff. Q about to get a spinoff. Some random woman, James Bond's ex, about to get a spinoff. James Bond gonna have his own spinoff.
Somebody brought up that there was a James Bond Jr. animated series in the 80s. That was like that ran in syndication from like children's television. That's gonna come back.
Spy Kids.
We're gonna get a son of Bond or a daughter of Bond. Yeah.
Both twins. They'll be twins.
Yeah, because they're already doing it with John Wick. So.
They are about to John Wick this franchise.
And you were right.
Sure.
James Bond has been around for a very long time. It has had a very good run.
We got Casino Royale, y'all.
It had some rough patches. Pierce Brosnan.
I didn't mind those.
Not all of them were good.
I don't remember most of them, but flashes I remember with Halle Berry. I remember that one. And I didn't particularly. That one was okay. I particularly raged at the end of No Time to Die for a couple of weeks.
I didn't like what was the Denise Richards one?
Oh, that was Pierce Brosnan too, right?
Yes, that was. But she was a scientist.
She's like Christmas Jones or something.
Christmas Jones, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. But the Daniel Craig ones, they went out on a high note. Boom.
They did. They did. So hey.
Yeah. You know,
you'll always have that.
All good things come to an end.
So yeah, do whatever you want. I'm checked out. I'm James Bond.
We will always have Casino Royale, y'all.
It's just the way Amazon handles its properties is garbage.
Somebody was like, "Oh, they're about to do what Disney did to the MCU," and I was like, "Y'all, there wasn't no MCU before Disney."
No.
Use a different example.
Y'all didn't know who Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor were until Kevin came around and decided to do something with it. Something gets bought and they're like, oh my God, they're about to Disney-fy like Marvel Studios. Like, but y'all look, whatever. As a comic book reader, it's very interesting when people who don't read comics but only watch the movies treat Marvel like it was the Holy Grail before it became movies. It's like y'all weren't interested in this.
Right.
The thing about Iron Man 1 is that Iron Man 2 was so successful, just like I said about Megan, because people realized that they missed out seeing it on the big screen the first time.
It's probably like
just like the first Avenger.
There it is.
Nobody went to go see that.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
And they also didn't like it. And then Winter Soldier came out and revisionist history took place.
Oh my God, it's the best one. Like,
and it was the holy grail of Captain America films.
Yeah.
So good. It was so good that Hugo Weaving didn't want to come back. That's how good it was.
Like, no.
Exactly.
Actually, no thank you.
So let's all take a step back and relax.
Right. So yeah, James Bond is probably done for as we know it. It was a good run. Mm-hmm. May it rest in peace. And
I think the finale, I appreciate the ending of the Daniel Craig one more now because he's dead. So this is going to be some type of zombie thing that they've resuscitated, and that's why it won't be as good. And that'll be my headcanon. That it's not good because they should have left him dead.
Yeah, I was real pissed about that ending of No Time to Die, but I've made my peace with it, and they will always have Casino Royale.
I absolutely think this is going to be the Pet Sematary version of James Bond.
Oh yeah, I mean, John Wick is you had the perfect example with John Wick because they are chopping and dicing and slicing John Wick, and it's like I actually think I'm done with this.
Yeah.
So
even though the ballerina doesn't look terrible, it doesn't look as good as John Wick, and it also still seems a little unnecessary. And Halle Berry's character was better than whatever Ana de Armas' character is going to be in the John Wick universe. So, and that's definitive.
Okay.
So
that's the tea.
Yeah.
Well, here's the tea.
All right, so that is the end of our movie news for this week. We are going to take a quick break and get into our 2 reviews. We're doing The Monkey and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 1 finale.
Sweet. All right, bye. Nope. Pause. All right, so we got a double review for this week. First up, we're going to do our final thoughts for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Or what did it used to be called? Spider-Man First Class is what it used to be called, right?
Spider-Man Year 1.
Not the X-Men show. I was like, why does that sound familiar? Yeah. I actually think that I'm still going down with that title. Worked better than this very wordy title. But anyway, it doesn't change the quality of the show. We actually did the review for the first 2 episodes a couple episodes back. So we're not going to go through our whole spiel. We're kind of just going to go wrap up what we thought of the rest of the season and our thoughts and who we liked and who we disliked. If you don't know, this is on Disney Plus, obviously. It came out January 29th, and then they did this very different release schedule where it was like 2 episodes, 4 episodes, 2 episodes, 2 episodes. So it all came out with like a span of a month, but now you can watch the whole thing because the whole thing's out. And it's 10 episodes. 10 episodes, 31 minutes a piece.
Cool.
So not too bad. One thing I don't think I mentioned last time was that the creator of this is Jeff Tramiel, who was also a writer for Great Otter Creek.
Ah.
And I was
that's
like,
good.
I was like, I can see why I liked this.
I liked Craig of the Creek.
Yeah, he was a story writer for I don't know how many episodes, but that was like one of his big pieces of work was Craig.
Good.
He's a black guy if you was wondering.
Yes.
That's why I called it out. All right, so let's talk about and we're kind of gonna go off the cuff here with our typical standard review because we already started this in a couple episodes, but I'll let you start off with your notes about the characters and what you liked and what episodes or whatnot for this season.
So Peter, I enjoyed Peter.
Peter grew on me more because one of my complaints earlier when we talked about this was the voice work and how everybody's voice work was a little
Yeah.
It grew on me as the series went on.
The writing got better. I mean, we only reviewed the first 2 episodes in our first impressions. So as the story progressed, Peter got better.
I agree.
Sure.
I liked him more. And
Yeah.
I always liked Spider-Man in general, like the Tobey Maguire when they turned Peter bad and he had like the slick hair.
Oh God, no thanks, Peter.
We didn't get none of this in this, so I was very thankful for that. But Peter stayed a good kid the whole time, and I appreciated that Peter didn't take no like dark turn, and we had to go through his renaissance and his revolution or whatever. It was just he was being a kid and trying to do his best, and I appreciated that.
I didn't really have any big complaints about Peter other than the voice work, but I minded the voice work less.
I got used to it.
And I think as the show went on, the side characters got more interesting for me than Peter did. Personally,
I agree with that.
Me personally, I like Spider-Man, but I've never like connected with Spider-Man.
Okay.
So I'm not like a super Spider-Man fan, but I do like all of the other characters. Like I like Nico Minoru. I'm a Nico fan. I liked what they did with his side characters. I like what they did with Harry and Lonnie.
He's got a good supporting cast in this
and
for sure.
Norman. I think the thing is Peter Parker is the same Peter Parker in every universe.
He is. He's a kid, and he's trying to figure his life out and juggle all his responsibilities.
And Aunt May's the same. She just gets younger, but every iteration. But the things that always change about Spider-Man stuff for me is the side characters.
You're right.
So I like these side characters. Like if they decide to put these in live action, I would love that. I would love like a live action Nico. In live action Harry and Norman with Coleman Domingo.
I do like the treatment, and we'll get to those. I do like the treatment of the side character, and I guess they add to Peter's just his surroundings. I guess so. It makes Peter interesting because he has interesting people to interact with. Yeah. So I put it that way. Yep.
Did you have any other thoughts about Peter you wanted to share?
Hopefully the voice actor gets to keep his job.
That's it. I did like his action sequences. It was weird how I don't know how you do. I guess it's still camera work and animation, but how they do the camera work for his web swinging when he finally got his blue and red suit.
It looks like the movies.
I liked that. I liked his web swinging. I liked his fight sequences, his action. Yes. There was one. I like how they make it very obvious that he pulls his punches, and that. In the episode where the Rhino's sister was breaking him out, or partner was breaking him out of prison, he does a street fight with her. Yeah. And she's like kicking his butt. But the only reason she's doing that is because there are people around. As soon as people get to safety, he like beats her up.
Yeah, I
like that.
He was pulling in that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't think about it until Norman said something. He was like, you not going 100%. Like, you trying to be too nice about it. And then when he turned it up, it was like, oh, Peter can turn it.
And they always kind of tease that. They kind of tease that with him and Willem Dafoe.
Because he's trying to be like friendly neighborhood, right? So he don't want to be plummeting people to death. Yeah. That was a good aspect. But you're right. That Peter goes through the same struggles in every iteration of Peter Parker. It's weird how we still get that, but it doesn't get old. I don't even know how that works. And maybe it's the supporting characters that make it. Because there's literally no different storyline with Peter. No,
they changed the universe and they changed several aspects of the characters and their origins, but Peter's still Peter.
Peter's still Peter. So yeah, it's interesting how that doesn't get. I mean, he's the most popular superhero, I guess, for a reason.
I guess it's got to be
it works.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Do you want to talk about Nico? Minoru.
I liked her, and you were right that she is a witch.
Yes. And already.
Didn't come to the very last 10 minutes of the series, but she I liked her. They did the trope where the friend doesn't know that her best friend is a superhero, but it played out pretty good.
But he doesn't know she's a witch.
Right.
A practicing witch. Like, she's not just like foo-foo. She's
Right,
like actually doing stuff.
When they have their moment where they're not talking, you know, it's always a typical, like, the friend who didn't know is upset that the friend who's a superhero didn't let him know.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to, like, they didn't drag it out too long.
No.
Thankfully. It's literally like an episode and a half. But Peter's like, you know, now that we got everything hashed out, we're good, no more secrets. And she got this look like, actually. So that'll be interesting to play out. But overall, I liked her character. She didn't do too much whining when she found out that Peter was not telling the truth. Because, like, it was true. Like, he turned into Spider-Man, like, the minute that they met.
Yeah, that's true.
So it took a while for him to even figure out what to do before telling somebody else.
Yeah. And he didn't really tell anybody. He was
got
discovered.
found out.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I like that she turned around pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't drag out the fact that she was all ho-hum about it.
Yeah. So interesting tidbits that they did about Nico. In the show, she's adopted.
Yeah, she's living with an adopted family.
Yeah, she's living in
or
a foster home.
Mm-hmm.
Where are her supervillain parents? I was wondering. That was my earlier note before the finale, and then she obviously she can communicate with them.
The mom especially, because that's who we see her talk to.
So the Minarus are dark wizards, dark witches.
Okay.
Like Darkhold dark witches. Like they're awful people, terrible, super villains. So maybe she doesn't know that her parents are bad.
Okay.
Or maybe they're dead. Because her parents do die in the comics. Like they don't they're not around forever. Like they eventually die.
And we don't know in the show how she ends up in a foster home. We don't get that backstory yet.
No.
She's already there.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I like all the teases that they set up for season 2. I'll tell you that much.
I do.
Literally almost every character.
I wonder if they're going to change her magic. She didn't stab herself before she casted the spell. So maybe she doesn't have to do that anymore.
Maybe she's that good now.
Maybe she's that good now. But she also doesn't have the staff. So maybe that hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
She hasn't conjured the staff of one
yet. Yeah, that revelation when Peter found out that she been hiding her little secret is going to be real interesting.
So I wonder if they're going to get witchy in season 2 or more witchy so that we can, they have to if they're going to fully develop her character.
I'm about to say we got a whole character.
They have to get super magical.
I like it. I like that she's going to have her own plot. Because mostly in the show is about her relationship with Peter. Mm-hmm. And it seems like we're going to get her relationship with whatever else she got going on.
I hope she has her own villain. In the comics, her villain, well, everybody has to have their first villain. Mm-hmm. Her villain was Marie Laveau, who was actually a real person. Oh. She's I think she was based in New Orleans? Louisiana.
Okay.
She was an actual black woman who was famously known for practicing voodoo. Angela Bassett played her in American Horror Story. That's who Angela Bassett's character was. Okay. But they made her a character. They do that with a lot of like historical figures in comics.
They bring up the actual person as a person.
They like bring them up as a comic book character. Okay. She was a witch who was a villain for Nico that helped her. She was kind of like her Agatha. She gave her information about her parents because she didn't know much about her parents. Mm-hmm. She formed a friendship with her, but really she just wanted to use her for her magic because she was super powerful.
Agatha for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I wonder if they're gonna do that.
I hope we get some meat on her bones for sure.
I thought she was funny. She's probably the funniest character in the series after Coleman Domingo.
Agreed.
Ironically following Harry after talking about how awful he is. I thought that was funny how she ironically followed him on Instagram. She said, "Oh, I just follow him ironically."
I thought she was gonna say, "Oh, I gotta keep tabs," but no, she didn't even use that line. She was just like, kind of like, "Oh, well,
right."
I was like, girl, just say you try to keep tabs on him. She couldn't even like get that out fast enough.
I thought it was funny because she didn't expect him to check her followers.
Because he was like scrolling. He was like, "Well, you follow him too. What's the issue?"
I thought it was so funny because that happens in real life. Mm-hmm. Like you have people who like dog people out. It's like, but you're
literally following everything they do. But yeah, that I like that they kept all the kids still kids.
I thought it was funny when they were bonding over dead mothers because her and Harry wasn't getting Harry and Peter wasn't getting along until they all realized, oh yeah, all our parents are dead.
Peter tried. She was just like, nah, that ain't the thing to bond over.
I did like that episode though.
That was the one where she finds out. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because while he's off fighting, I think that's when he's fighting the Rhino's crew.
It's either that or that's when
Scorpion.
Daredevil, I think. I think that was a
Daredevil.
Episode.
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So while he's off fighting crime, kind of, Nico and Harry are sitting at the house and they're trying to make a connection.
Trying to have conversation.
They are.
Awkward.
Yeah. Eventually they become friends, and I'm glad that they do.
I am glad that we didn't do the typical he has two friends that he can't hang with trope. Because then that would have been like, okay, he's a kid, like he's still a teenager, y'all. Y'all can only put so much on this kid.
Yeah.
Let's reel something in. Let something good go for him.
Harry Osborn. I liked Harry. I thought it was a good change of the character. I'm glad.
Agreed.
I'm glad that even though he's a social media influencer, he's not full of himself.
He is not, and he recognizes that he's very aware of the dislike about him as well because he's a rich kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
And I liked in the finale, after everything that happened that we'll get to later, I liked how they kind of planted the seeds that it's going to affect his fame. Yeah. Like how this first season ended. It's going to change, or his fame or his popularity might pivot a little bit.
Yeah, or it'll be, or will he have like more? Because he's an influencer, right? And then there's one scene where he's teaching Nico how to drive, where they run into somebody, and it's like, oh, you're just a pretty boy with a pretty face, or whatever. I wonder if he's gonna get even more hate because now he's trying to do something that's got some substance to it.
I think he's gonna get hate because of he's Harry. He's an Osborn, and there's a certain amount of dislike that comes with that. But I think what's gonna be interesting is seeing him manage that, but also try to do something different with the Osborn name, because as this season 1 ends, he's Spider-Man's guy in the chair,
right? And
he's also going to be running the social network that kind of like promotes Spider-Man.
Okay.
The Web.
I thought Web was more of like a full-fledged business.
I thought he was running that though.
Well, yeah, running it, but I thought it was more than just like sharing what's going on with Spider-Man. Oh, yeah, I guess you're probably right.
Well, it could be. The only thing they kind of showed was kind of like them sending, them creating an app and sending alerts.
And I guess
like
we didn't read exactly what it was.
Yeah,
okay,
because they didn't really give it all away.
You're right. You're right. But I do like that Harry's gonna be. But you said he always turns into a villain.
I don't know if they're going to go the same route with all of these characters.
They are changing it a little bit.
They are
changing a little bit. But I do like that. I also like that Harry and Norman seem to have a good relationship. And it's not like he hates his dad, at least yet.
Harry's always been unlikable. Yeah. I mean, the only live action, we've only gotten 2 live action Harrys. James Franco's character was unlikable.
Right.
And
he's just weak. Oh, that's not fair to say.
I can't think of the actor's name. Dane DeHaan?
Are you talking about in Andrew Garfield's?
Yes. Is it Dane DeHaan? Yeah. Dane DeHaan. He played the Green Goblin in the Andrew Garfield ones. He was the one who killed Gwen.
Okay. Okay.
He wasn't in it a lot, but he was kind of unlikable. I like that this version of Harry is likable. I enjoyed this Harry.
Even though he's like, like you say, he's not full of himself.
Right.
Like, he's obviously like a rich kid who ain't been exposed to certain things like raisins.
Yes.
But
caviar raisins.
That was funny. And she was like, dude, that's raisins. You being extra.
Is that like, are fruits and veggies elitist? Like, do rich people just not eat fruits and veggies?
I guess, like, where would he come across a raisin?
Nothing's ever been raisin bread, a bagel?
You know, bread pudding with a raisin?
Right.
Yeah, it was weird.
Strange.
You're right. He thought
oatmeal raisin cookie?
Right.
Those are like the second best cookies
after
chocolate chip.
How do you know you weren't like allergic or something?
That's also true.
Anywho, but you're right. He didn't come off as elitist, even though there were certain things he hadn't experienced because, you know, he's this rich kid. So I thought that was cool.
Lonnie was my second favorite character of the show.
I really like Lonnie. I don't like how Lonnie ended up. I was very like, God dang it, why Lonnie got to turn into a bad kid?
So in our first impressions, I said that it was foreshadowed that he was going to be really bad. But I did not know Tombstone's real name.
Oh,
prior. Okay. I know who Tombstone was.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a bad guy.
Right.
But I didn't know who his civilian name was.
Is his super strength just that he's super strong?
Well, he's called Tombstone because he's got like his physical makeup is like concrete.
Okay.
Like a tombstone.
Okay.
So that's why he's unbreakable pretty much.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. So we talked about when we first did our first review how Lonnie, obviously we find out that Lonnie's like this star kid for the football team. The whole school is for smart kids. So everybody's smart. He really likes working with Peter in science and all that. But he comes from the hood and he lives super far from school and nobody really knows, and his background is totally different than the rest of his classmates. Right. He has to take care of his family and step up to help his brother and all that, but nobody really knows that because he doesn't talk about that at school. So he ends up getting caught up into like a gang and all that, and he turns bad, and I'm just kind of like, God dang it. Yeah.
And we knew it.
I know.
Yeah, we knew
But
it.
I do, his character, though, I really liked his character.
I still like Lonnie's character.
Yeah.
I like that he came back around in the end.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He didn't go full, like, I hate the world yet. He ain't there yet. We still got some glimmer of silver lining in Lonnie.
He's embracing Tombstone, though.
He is there. We're in that real, with the precipice of like all the good is about to go and all the bad's about to take over.
Yeah.
It's like I can see it happening right in front of my TV. No. It is. But I liked him.
I liked Lonnie's character. I liked that he was like super positive. I thought his turn was tragic. It was tragic.
Soon as he, because what happens is his brother's involved in a gang, and Lonnie basically switches himself for his brother. Say, leave my brother out of this. You can have me in your gang. And the gang's like, I mean, it's a gang. Like they doing stuff they're not supposed to do. They ain't going to class. Lonnie ended up getting kicked out of the football team because he's too busy trying to do stuff with the gang.
He ain't graduating.
He literally not in school by the end of the season.
He threw his Letterman jacket in the garbage. So he's done. He's crossing over.
Super done.
Yeah.
And he eventually becomes like the crime boss of the gang because the guy who was running it dips out on him. And it's just kind of like, you really about to take over, huh?
I think what's going to happen is him and Peter are still good, but as he gets deeper into his criminal exploits, him and Peter are going to clash. And that's when we will get the official Tombstone.
Because he's probably going to be doing all his dirt undercover, right?
Because now he's the boss.
Right. And it seems like he's still hiding it. So his mom, he's talking to his mom at the end, like, obviously parents have found out he's not in school. So he's like, I'm about to go take my GED test and enroll in community college. He actually gets a text about the web thing that Harry is setting up. So it seems like he might join that. He's still double laughing it. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I like the fact that they made him smart.
Yeah.
They made him just as smart as Peter.
Everybody else.
So now he's like, when he does do the full villain turn, it's not just going to be mind versus matter. It's going to be both. Both minds versus both matters. Because he's indestructible, Peter's super strong, and they're both hyper intelligent.
Smart.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting like A's on their science projects.
I think that's a great way to like upgrade a villain.
Yeah, to make them equally on the same academic playing field. So they can all fight each other with their minds.
He's like disfigured looking.
Okay.
But he's like he has like albino pale white skin.
Okay. Lonnie's black in this, to be specific.
Yeah, because of the reaction. I think he's always black now that I think about it.
Oh, okay.
I think they just the chemical reaction from the gas he's exposed to changed his skin color in the comics, but it didn't change his skin color in the show.
He has no physical Well, I guess at the end his fingertips were turning white. I thought it was.
Is that what it was?
I thought because he's got a brick in his hand and he crushes it, but the brick is red, but he's got white. It almost looks like clay on his hand that he doesn't wipe off, and I was like, is he not gonna wipe that off?
Maybe it's changing because I kept looking for it. I was looking for his skin to get lighter, and I didn't see it. So maybe it's gonna spread.
Yes. Yeah. Because I was like, is he gonna wipe that junk off? I was like, what is that, like donut?
So they're gonna do like a vitiligo thing.
Probably.
Okay.
Because it was definitely on his fingers for sure. Now that you talk about, I didn't even know. That's why I was confused. I was like, why did y'all not wipe it? Why is he not wiping the stuff off his hands? Yeah. Because he's albino. I didn't know that part.
I rewind after the gas incident in the truck. I kept rewinding. Like, did he get like a shade lighter?
So no, it seemed like it's gonna spread then.
Okay, that's cool then. Fine.
I do like that. That's cool.
That's fine.
He'll eventually be all
right. I mean, I don't want him to be. I don't want Lottie to change. That's why it's not gonna happen.
He gone, unfortunately.
Lottie is gone. It was
I
written.
Really like that kid.
It was tragic, like Shakespeare wrote it. Like it was so tragic, and you just saw it coming, and you couldn't do anything about it, but just watch.
As soon as he told his brother to leave, I was like, God dang it!
And that was one of the main reasons I was like, you need to finish it. You need to finish it like immediately because you need to see the change.
R.I.P. to Lonnie that we used to know.
Last but not least character on the list is Norman Osborn, who's played by Coleman Domingo. This is my favorite character of the show.
He does Norman very well, and he does Norman so well because if you didn't know no better, you would think Norman Osborn was a good person.
And that's one of my notes. And one of my notes and one of my critiques.
Okay.
So I'll just do it now. So my note and critique is that I feel like his arc curved very abruptly in that last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, very
They should have put that at maybe episode 7.
They didn't even, like, plant... So...
No seeds.
They planted the seeds that he was evil because... you don't really have to work hard to do that because it's Norman Osborn. But my thing was, like, I feel like they were letting him cook for the whole show, and he was simmering, and it was keeping it. You knew he was evil, but they were like keeping it subtle.
Yeah.
And then the last episode, in the opening, it was like boom, full blown maniac.
Yeah.
He is full blown a maniacal villain.
It was already 10 episodes, so maybe not a whole extra, but they could have slid some episode 10 into episode 9 because it literally comes out and he makes his turn, and you just like, is this what you've been doing?
Yeah.
Y'all could have let some bread.
And you didn't even tease that. And I thought that maybe the reason, maybe they did that on purpose because like the whole show we're only supposed to be seeing Norman through Peter's lens.
Okay.
Through Peter's eyes, who's like a child who's looking at this person like
because he seems like he's actually trying to help.
He's his Tony Stark, so he looks up to him. He thinks that he's only has his best interest at heart because he's an adult.
Right. He's asking for advice and whatnot.
He's rich. It seems like he's doing it thanklessly. To Peter because he hasn't asked Peter for anything.
Right. He, outside of the one time where he asked him to go check Oscorp because Daredevil had broken in. He didn't know the Daredevil. Other than that, he's kind of like just trying to help Peter, like, take a night off or, here's some new suits or whatever. But Osborn been working behind the scenes. Yeah. Big time.
So that was my one critique, but one thing that I liked about the character was I liked that he was just I liked the fact that the whole show we were watching it like this is Spider-Man year one. Nobody's fully elevated, nobody's fully fleshed out, nobody is who they're supposed to be because everybody's young, and that's true. Everybody else is young. And then I realized like, oh, Norman is the one that's fully developed. Norman was always fully developed.
He's Oscorp.
Yeah, we just didn't know that he was awful all the way through. But
he was doing it in a different room. Yeah, basically.
We did not, as the viewers, we didn't know that Norman was officially who Norman is supposed to be. But it was just very abrupt for me. It was like, oh, I thought they were going somewhere different, and then we pulled right back. It might as well have been Willem Dafoe.
They didn't. Every other character gets like a setup or lead into what's going to happen in season 2. In the last episode, we get what he was doing, like right then and there, and then it like concludes and you're like, well, dang.
So the whole internship, he was basically stealing ideas from the intern so that he could create a machine to harvest the natural resources in space, which is like crazy, which is super crazy.
Almost as like he opened up a portal to outer space, and it was like, you thought that'd be a great idea? You ain't even been out there before.
You just literally, you know about the attack on New York happened.
Right.
Big portal in the sky.
Exactly.
Civil War has happened. The Sokovia Accords has happened. Ultron has happened. Yeah. And you think you have the bright idea to open a gateway to space in your basement? You
big
clown.
Old, and it's not like a little hole. It's it's like
Stargate.
It's like the thing that was in Thor 1 where they had that big old thing, the circle thing in the basement that Shield was trying to.
Oh yeah,
it looks like that.
That Loki hopped through in Avengers 1.
It literally looks like that. And it's like.
And I don't know if that's deliberate.
Oh, that's what you've been doing? Okay. And that all comes out in like one episode. Yeah. And all gets shut down in one episode too.
So basically them and Amadeus Cho. Shout out to Amadeus Cho. I did not realize that was Amadeus Cho.
Not until they said his name. Yeah. I was like, oh.
No, that's interesting.
Right.
They made a space bridge.
Essentially.
To go out to
space. A portal is what they called it.
And what Norman's plan was they were going to go to some random, uncharted, uninhabited part of the galaxy, which if you know anything about Marvel Universe, there is no uninhabited part of the galaxy.
If you know anything about Alien.
Yeah.
Ain't no
There's no uninhabited. It's inhabited by something.
Right. Exactly.
This time, his uninhabited corner universe happened to be symbiote land. We don't even know if it was
multi-headed symbiote land.
I don't even know if this was like the same place where symbiotes come from.
I don't know.
It could have been Null. He didn't know who could have crawled through that portal.
Sitting on his chair, like, who is that looking at me?
But he decided to open a portal into space, and some type of symbiote creature that has not been identified yet.
No.
That has no name. It's not Venom.
Very statuesque.
It's got like a fur collar. It's very strange.
It's very stylish.
Yeah. Is it Kraven?
No.
No. I mean, it came from space.
Okay. I was thinking about it too. Like, he got a Kraven like get up though.
It comes through in Rex Havoc, but before it comes through in Rex Havoc, Doctor Strange shows up again
from the first episode.
And this is when it got really good.
Yes, I did like the tie-in. Let's save it until we get to the ending part. But Norman, he was my favorite just because like he was so conniving, and like Peter don't see it. Even Harry, like nobody, unless you were in on the room where he was storing everything, nobody really knew what he was up to. Daredevil had a suspicion. That's why he had one of the interns was actually an undercover agent working with Daredevil, which I was like, oh, okay. Hey, girl. But nobody really knew what he was doing. And then the big reveal was kind of like, oh, you've been up to something. But Coleman Domingo does perfect as far as voice acting in this as well.
I liked his clash with Octavius.
In the jail, when he visited in jail. Yes, that was very good.
The unofficial Dr. Octopus, because he's not Dr. Octopus yet. But he does have the tentacle arms.
He got the drawings.
Yes. They work because he just doesn't wear them on his back.
Not yet,
But they're like at least active. And they
effective.
Yes, they are effective. But basically, Octavius is the same in pretty much every universe. He does not like Norman Osborn. He is not a fan. He thinks he is a thief of people's ideas. And he is, because Norman Osborn doesn't invent anything. He just takes everybody else's
And he
ideas.
does the same thing in this. He takes all his things.
I like the clash between the two because it was Norman who called Iron Man on Otto Octavius.
I did like. So we get an Iron Man cameo and we get a Ross cameo. And they are the ones who take Doc Ock.
Under the Sokovia Accords, which was an interesting angle.
Yes.
The Sokovia Accords actually doing something effective.
It's funny because Doc Ock Octavius, is reading the Sokovia Accords in jail. Like, I can't be the only one who's broken these, and I'm the only one in here. I'm like, I mean, that's how the government works.
Yeah. I don't know if the raft is around yet, so it looks like they just threw him in Rikers.
Yes, right. That's a good point. He technically should be, because they would be in the raft.
He would fall under the raft, but it doesn't seem like the raft exists
Maybe
yet.
he's waiting for transport.
Or you know what? That makes sense because the raft didn't come around until after Civil War. So they wouldn't have needed
they were on the raft
prison.
in Infinity War. Right? That's where we saw them in the raft. Or before Infinity War.
Civil War. The raft is the prison.
Right.
That they housed them all in after. That's where Iron Man went to go visit them all to find out what Steve and Bucky were really doing.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, because Steve wasn't in there, but Sam. Okay. Yep.
So maybe the raft doesn't exist yet.
They're building it.
Yeah.
It's under construction.
I liked his scene when he went to go visit Octavius and he said, "Here's your picture of you getting arrested by Iron Man. Love that for you."
It was very. It was like, this is very Coleman Domingo, and I like it.
But I did like the exchange between the two when Otto basically told him, like, you can lock me up, but I have the brains. I'm the one with the ideas.
I thought he was going to say it.
Without the rest of us, you're nothing.
Yeah, he pretty much tells him, like, you still ain't, I'm still better than you. I'm still smarter than you. What did he say? He said I had substance?
Yes.
I think I have the substance, and I'm coming back for you.
Yeah.
No matter what it takes.
And I like that. I like villain on villain beef.
I do.
Yeah.
Especially when you got one that's super rich and then one that's super smart.
Yes.
And we're about to say who gonna win out. So that'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah. And he also has the Goblin Glider. So is he doing Goblin stuff already? Is he planning to do Goblin stuff? Are they just gonna skip him and go straight to Harry?
I think they're gonna kill Norman in this.
That would be I mean,
maybe not next season.
They have to make space for other Spider-Man villains.
Yeah, maybe.
He may not be killed, but he'll probably get arrested.
Okay.
And jailed.
Okay, I feel you on that. And then Harry becomes a Green Goblin because they do have the glider.
Because technically, he should fall under the Sokovia Accords. Opening a bridge to space is Sokovia Accord worthy.
I mean, it's got to be a byline in there somewhere.
Yeah, like you just can't do that.
You ain't super powerful, but you super rich.
You're too right. You have access to too much.
You're doing too much in jail. Okay, gotcha.
But also, one thing that I thought was very interesting. This is another Scream reference.
What? How?
In the scene when Peter gets his white suit.
Yes.
He first gets his white suit from Norman after we get the very funny montage of all the awful suit designs, especially the ones with wings, which was terrible.
The cape.
The flying spider.
The cape was stupid.
The I don't know if this is supposed to be a play on the original Black Panther suit.
Okay.
With the black suit and the white glove and the gray gloves, because that was like one of Black Panther's OG suits. And the little girl in the park screamed at him.
That was hilarious because the lady was like, "Why are you terrorizing my?" He did look scared, and then Norman gonna say, "Okay, I had a feeling that would happen." Like, then why you send that boy out there in that ugly suit?
Right.
That was funny.
So in the scene when he gets his white suit and he's doing his web slinging, and they're playing this song. I don't know what the song is, but I was listening to the lyrics. One of the lyrics it says, "Feels good to be walking with the devil."
Oh God.
And I was like, this reminds me of when Billy Loomis climbed through her window, Sydney's window, and screamed, and they were playing "Don't Fear the Reaper" because they were telling you that it's
him.
it's him. He's the bad guy.
You're talking to him right now.
Yeah.
You just don't know
I thought that was cool when they put the song lyrics. It was like, "Feels good to be walking with the devil," but it was like to upbeat music.
Right, so you probably didn't catch it
You
at
didn't
first.
catch it
I
unless you
definitely
listened.
didn't catch it.
And in Don't Fear the Reaper, they changed the melody to make it like a love theme instead of like the regular tone of Don't Fear the Reaper. So I like that they did that.
Darn audio mixing. That's
Yeah.
pretty good though. That's a good pickup.
Okay, likes and dislikes.
So I think I got through most of my likes as far as the supporting characters, the fact that they kept Peter even keel. He was still kind of like a kid trying to learn his way. He didn't turn dark. What else? I got used to the animation style.
I did.
Literally didn't pay no attention to it watching the rest of the show.
I love the transition when he was walking down the street and it did like the comic panel transition where it changed the neighborhood that he was in. He like walked into a different comic book panel. I thought that was cool.
I did like when they sliced the screen. Sometimes when two characters were talking in different places, they would make it look like a comic book.
When they put Spider-Man and Lonnie's faces next to each other.
That was cool.
That was cool.
I like that as well. Oh, God.
I like the final fight between him, Lonnie, and Scorpion.
That was good. It just makes me all more sad about what's going to happen with Lonnie. Anywho, I like that I'm sad about Lonnie.
I mean, he's not in danger because he's indestructible.
I mean,
so he'll live. He'll just be a bad person.
Yeah. So I like that they were able to write it to where you had some sort of connection or you felt for all of the characters. Even Peter, I felt bad for because he going to Norman for advice. And Norman's not giving him the greatest advice. And you're like, Peter. You don't even know this man's just trying to set you up.
For a cartoon character, Lonnie had one of the best written arcs in a cartoon.
Yes, I would agree.
I mean,
I would agree with that.
And it got serious. Like when Scorpion breaks into their base and kills one of the gang members, like puts his and everybody just like has a part. It was on like everybody reacted like, wait, this is a cartoon. Right. Did you just kill somebody?
We're faking, guy. Relax.
And the blood came out and everybody was kind of like,
we got some blood in this.
Did he just kill a cartoon character?
I mean, Peter was getting jacked up by Scorpion in that first fight. I was like, are they about to kill Peter Parker?
I didn't expect him to walk in and kill somebody, but he did. He walked in and immediately killed somebody.
He was not playing around.
No.
Okay.
But I was like, oh, this is getting real deep. And then like the gang war that's happening in the middle of the street, and Lonnie's like trying to plead to the main guy, like, hey, you need to do something. He turns tail and flees.
That was crazy. That I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, did he just run out on y'all?
I mean, like, you came to a Scorpion fight with guns. Like, this man is
the leader the whole time was just kind of like all talk, no action. Anyway, so
and it didn't seem like there was any reason to keep going. After a while, when they finally get the jump on where Scorpion got his gear, everybody else in the game is kind of like, we're still doing this. We're still going after him. Like, we could just leave this alone.
Right, and there's less of us.
Yes.
Now, so we should probably just go on our merry way.
And he started murdering us, so this is no longer a kid's show.
People are dying, Kim. What are you doing? We're kids. We are literally teenagers.
I thought the writing around Lonnie was the best for all of the characters in the show. The writing around Lonnie was super good.
So I would say I don't really have any dislikes, to be honest. The runtime was pretty good per episode. Each one is there's one that's like 32 minutes, but the rest of them are 31 minutes. I think the fact that it was 10 episodes was perfect. I actually don't think they should change too much about in season 2, to be honest. Like, I think I would keep everything the same.
The only thing they've confirmed so far is that they're going to add Gwen.
I did see Gwen's picture.
I'm glad. Give Gwen to Peter. Keep her away from Miles.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
One thing the only character we don't get an ending setup scene for season 2 was Pearl. Do we not care about Pearl anymore? Is she just going to be a student now? She's obviously Peter's love interest, though. And
maybe Nico's.
I
think Pearl's going to go away because Pearl's going to graduate for the rest of them.
You're right, because Pearl is a senior.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pearl probably just graduate. Okay, fair enough.
That's fine.
I liked Pearl, but,
we need a
Mary Jane.
I guess they're going to go with Gwen first.
Okay, fair enough.
And then Mary Jane, I guess.
Okay,
but yeah.
okay. But we didn't mention Pearl, but Pearl was Peter's old babysitter / love interest, but she ain't in love with him.
No.
And she was also Lonnie's girlfriend.
Yes. So
but
she's...
all her scenes were pretty good. I liked her too.
Yeah.
But you made a good point. She's probably just going to graduate.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Pearl lives.
Shout out to Pearl.
Right.
Go girl. You actually probably should need to get out of town anyway. These people are crazy.
Let's talk. Oh, yeah. And my dislikes, I didn't really have any more dislikes by the end. My original dislikes were the voice work and the animation, but as it went along, I didn't mind it as much, and the writing kind of superseded that. So
agree.
Yeah, my dislikes kind of fell off.
Okay.
Ending.
So the ending is the beginning.
Yes.
So that was
loved it.
Did see that coming. So the opening fight in the very first episode is Doctor Strange coming through a portal fighting a symbiote. And the symbiote, the portal, through the portal also comes a spider that bites Peter, and that's how Peter becomes Spider-Man. Well, what we did not realize is that this fight that was happening in the first episode is also the portal they were coming through was the place that they were in the last episode. So it was kind of like Final Destination. No, that's not good.
No, another movie has done this before.
I can't think of what, but it was a cool setup.
It was
recent, wasn't it?
It was Hermione with the time turner.
Boom.
And what was that? Goblet of Fire?
Nope, that was Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes,
it was a Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban situation where they were trying to save something from happening while it was happening.
Yes.
So Strange was basically fighting a symbiote while Peter was trying to close the portal that Norman opened in the last episode.
But it had to happen in order for them to get where they are.
Exactly.
And things didn't look, because I guess with the time turner, they thought the hippogriff got his head cut off, but it didn't, but they still had to let it happen.
Exactly. Because or else it would have changed where they were in that moment. So you kind of have to watch it to understand it, but if you've seen Prisoner of Azkaban or you've read it, then you know what that looks like.
I like the reveal. I thought Doctor Strange was coming back a second time to save the day until Norman was like, you caused all this, and Doctor Strange was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
He did seem lost,
and I was like, oh my god, this is them doing a time loop.
Right. And that the fight scenes were all good in that because it wasn't an easy fight, and Strange and Spider-Man had to work together legit work together. It wasn't like Doctor Strange was doing all the work and Spider-Man was just pushing buttons. They were actually like a team, and that was pretty cool. It was also funny because I was recalling to when Strange and Spider-Man met in the MCU, and Strange was like, who are you?
Yeah.
Why are you here? And so it was different in this where Strange was actually like, kid, I need your help. Like, let's get this up out of here. So that was good.
They also did a play on Infinity War when Peter and, like you said, when Doctor Strange and Peter introduced themselves to each other, and Peter almost tells him his real name. They did, and he says Spider-Man, and he says, "Oh, we're using our what did he say in Infinity War? We're using our super names? Yes,
we're using our superhero names.
Our superhero names, yeah." But he asked him what his name was, and he almost said it was Peter Parker. Then he stopped himself, and Doctor Strange was like, "Good save." I like that.
Okay, yeah, that was good.
Because Doctor Strange is gonna he knows who you are.
I mean, he's
just seeing if he was gonna let it slip.
He's Sorcerer Supreme, and I like where Peter asked him, have you, if you can see the past, you see the future, and the Strange was like, I ain't telling you none of my business. But I think you'll be pretty good. Great
line. I love the fact when he was like, I think you're already ready. And I love that. I like that. Didn't
spoil, didn't set up anything in particular. And Peter repeats that at the very end, like, according to Doctor Strange, I'm pretty good. So now he's more confident to go.
So now we know that Doctor Strange exists in this universe. He did not. The impression from the beginning was that he came from a different universe, and that's why the spider was different. But the spider was not. We still don't know why the spider is different.
Well, it was the same spiders that Norman was working on, right?
Yes,
because Norman's working on spiders because he wants to replicate Spider-Man essentially.
So that's why the spider is different, because it's synthetic.
Yes, so it's kind of like the Miles situation, I guess. Yeah, right, a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know what? Miles Spider came from a different universe.
Okay. But this one is definitely in universe.
This is in universe. But in the first episode, the impression was that Doctor Strange was coming from a different universe. And that's why the symbiote monster looked a little weird. Right. But now we know Doctor Strange in this New York exists. So we should see him again.
I like this Doctor Strange too.
I like this Doctor Strange.
He was pretty cool. Yeah. He was pretty cool. So that, and then the rest of the ending is basically sets up all our different characters. So like we already mentioned, Lonnie's turning bad, throws away his Letterman jacket.
Still going to school though, so
he's trying to get his GED. Yeah, and go to community college. We'll see how that works. Peter has more confidence in being Spider-Man, and he's ready to face the new day.
Got the traditional suit.
He got his traditional suit, which. I liked it better than the other ones, to be honest. The white suit was cool for a time, but I like traditional Spider-Man outfit.
Harry made a good point that it was, I forgot the word that they used, but it was muted.
Yeah.
It wasn't it didn't give off a Spider-Man personality or anything.
It was kind of like the opposite of Sam's white suit, where we could have used more white.
Yeah.
Peter's could have had less white.
Yeah. Definitely needed more color.
The balance was off. And then Nico, we see her using her witch powers. Mm-hmm. And we see Norman. What do we see Norman do?
We don't see Norman do anything. We get a news article that he's under fire.
Yeah, we get a news report to say Oscorp is like now under scrutiny because they've been messing up. Mm-hmm. And I think that covers all of our main people. So they kind of ended with everybody. We kind of get a clue of what everybody's going to be doing in the next season.
So Norman could end up being Green Goblin. And the Tobey Maguire ones, Willem Dafoe became the Green Goblin because the board wrestled control of the company away from him. So he went on a revenge spree and killed them all.
You're right.
And took the serum. So maybe that's
right.
the direction
for a short
he's going.
time.
Because he has the glider. Mm-hmm. They're definitely doing something to Goblin. If the glider already exists.
We saw it twice. Like we saw it in action, and then we saw like a picture of it, and they named it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
the mean guy who was the intern teacher or whatever. The guy who was running the intern. Mm-hmm, he's the wizard in the comics. He's a Fantastic Four villain. So Fantastic Four could show up. Okay. Spider-Man and Human Torch are best friends in the comics.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That's pretty.
They're really good friends.
They're the same age?
Sometimes. They change the ages of the Fantastic Four all the time.
Okay, I was going to say, I didn't know Johnny Storm was like 16.
They usually keep Johnny Storm sometimes Johnny Storm is like the same age as Peter Parker. Sometimes he's like 21 and Peter's like 17.
Okay, fair enough, I guess. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I don't think we don't have any date for season 2 that we just know what's coming. Hopefully it's not too long, although I feel like with the way X-Men 97 is going, it's probably going to be at least a year.
Yeah.
Probably.
You want to do our rating?
Sure.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 Nicole Kidmans.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's mainly because it did take at least a couple episodes for me to get used to the voice work and the animation style. But I thought all the writing was good. And I watched all 8 episodes in the last 12 hours and I had a good time.
I didn't keep up with it week to week.
Right.
I wasn't a fan of the release model.
No.
So
I'm not going to give
just a random hour and a half chunk out of my day every week is weird. But
yeah, I'm not going to dock the show for that, but I will dock Marvel for that. Don't do that.
I'm not going to dock the show for that. I just couldn't, the way the release, and I don't think anybody was a fan of the release schedule. I didn't see anybody say they were glad that happened. Most people said that they wish it was just week to week.
I'd rather week to week than like 2 episodes, then 4 episodes, then 2 episodes. I was like,
don't do that with X-Men 97.
They didn't. So I don't know what. Maybe they wanted this to end at a particular time, and they were like, "We also need to get this out." So finagle the schedule.
I was thinking that they were probably using this as a test because X-Men 97 was around the same length of episodes. So they were like, maybe if this is successful, we'll do 3. No, keep X-Men 97. It helps the conversation. Yeah,
because it trended. It didn't trend as much because people were probably watching it in different chunks.
A lot of people just binged it. I binged it. I watched the first 2 episodes and I binged it at the end.
That's same.
Yeah. So.
I just binged it more quickly.
And the payoff was good. It had a good payoff. So
it did. Yeah. I am looking forward to season 2.
All right. So that is our review of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Absolutely watch it. It's only 10 half-an-hour episodes. So it's only 5 hours. Mm-hmm. You got that?
You waste that scrolling TikTok.
Yeah. So you can do it at the same time. No, you should watch the show.
You should focus. You might miss some tidbits.
All right, so let's get into our review for The Monkey.
All right. This week, we also watched The Monkey, which came out February 21st, 2025. It is directed by Osgood Perkins, who also directed Long Legs, Jay's movie he's probably seen. How many times have you seen Long Legs?
Like 5 times.
Good Lord. Long Legs. It was also directed by Osgood Perkins. Casting characters for The Monkey include Theo James plays Hal and Bill Shelbourne. These are our twins. He plays twins.
Okay.
There is a younger version played by actor Christian Convery, who plays young Hal and Bill. We have Tatiana Maslany, a.k.a. She-Hulk, who plays Lois, who plays their mom. We have Colin O'Brien, plays Petey, who is Hal's son. Mm-hmm. Rohan Campbell, who plays Ricky. And I think I'll leave it at that. There are other people in this movie.
Yeah.
But that's the main.
We'll throw those out as we go through it.
Exactly. So going back to runtime of 1 hour and 38 minutes. So it was short and sweet and to the point. But I'll get into my comments about that runtime.
It was a technically short film.
Technically, physically short.
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah, time does not change in this movie.
An hour and 38 is short.
It was.
Yes.
Technically.
No matter how it feels.
We'll get to that. Budget of around 10 to 11 million. I ain't got specifics, but that was what Wikipedia says. Opening day, it has made 5.8 million and is projected to do 13 to 14 million opening weekend.
Just like long legs. Keep it cheap.
Keep it cheap. I'm curious to see what the legs on this will be like.
Haha, legs.
Ha! Long legs did really well.
Yes.
So
they did.
I'm curious if this will have the same legs. Oh my Lord. The same legs as long legs in terms of the box office. So we shall see.
We shall see.
Cinema score was a C+, which is the same as long legs. It's like a drinking game at this point. Score is a little interesting though. Critics gave it a 76. Audience gave it a 67.
Yeah.
Which is quite a bit of a drop from when this first started getting.
Both like 79, right?
They were both like 80 something. I think the first score when it came out for the critics. Now, just a tidbit. I don't care what critics particularly say. So we just talking data points.
Right.
When it first came out, I think the critic score was like an 80 something. And I think the audience might have been an 80 something. So as more people have seen this, it has dropped quite a bit.
Yeah. As more people see it, they're getting more divided.
Yeah. Which is very interesting. And we'll talk about our thoughts, obviously, because that's what you're here for. And then what else do I have? Oh, yeah. So that's pretty much it as far as the facts and the statistics. Do you want to give us a plot for the monkey?
The plot of The Monkey is there are twins.
Yes.
Who have inherited a cursed drumming monkey from their father.
Sure.
That it's a wind-up toy. Every time you wind it up, it kills somebody.
Correct.
At random.
Sure.
And the brothers have to figure out how to live with it.
Sure.
I guess.
Coexist
with this murderous wind-up toy that has wreaked havoc on their lives personally
as they've grown up.
Yeah,
that's a good synopsis without spoiling. All right, so let's get into our non-spoiler thoughts first, and then as always we'll talk about characters and whatnot, and we'll get into our spoiler thoughts. So non-spoiler thoughts for me: slow burn, baby.
That's one of my non-spoiler thoughts.
Slow burn. So when Jay was being funny about the time, the hour and whatever being like physical, yeah, it's physically an hour and some change, but it feels a little longer than that, which is you can take that as a positive or negative. I'll let you decide. It's not very scary. This is a horror comedy. It's funny in the sense of like, it's not funny like Hard Eyes funny.
It's funny in the sense it's unserious.
Boom. But I thought Hard Eyes was unserious.
It's just more unserious.
Okay, fair enough.
The world, I don't know. I mean, they're both unserious, but this one takes it a step further with its characters.
This was like more unserious with a serious backdrop.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is. More unserious with a more serious context. As versus Hard Eyes, it was just goofy.
Yes.
It was just 100% goofy. The acting was good from everybody, but I thought the plot was a little thin.
Wow, you're stealing my non-spoiler notes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there.
No, go ahead.
No, that's what I got.
Oh, that's all you got?
Now you fill in what I didn't get.
So it's a slow burn. It is.
Check.
I put it as a slow burn in the beginning, middle, and end.
Out the whole way through.
It is a slow. I mean, between the parts where the really interesting kills happen, and all the kills are interesting.
Yeah.
All the kills are good.
I'll give you that.
But between all the kills, it is slow.
Yeah.
It takes its time. And that is a matter of taste. That doesn't mean it's bad, but it does mean it is slow.
I was like, take that as you will, but
taking your time can be good for some things. Some things taking your time can be a bad
thing. I mean,
it's
simmering. It is simmering the whole time.
It is.
Literally.
It's reduced to a simmer. But it starts off with a boil. So it has an interesting beginning.
Okay.
One of the trailer scenes is the opening of the film. So it definitely hits you in the face in the beginning of the movie.
Which you need, because you need that good jolt to ride the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and
until the next kill.
We know what we're here for. You don't have to build up.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So it was a slow burn. The movie is unserious. Sometimes that's fun. Sometimes it's frustrating.
Okay.
And this movie was about 50-50. Between the fun and frustrating unseriousness.
Okay.
It was the kills were fun.
Yes.
Some of the side characters were fun.
Okay.
Some of the side characters were fun.
The ones that quickly stay, or the ones that stay the whole movie?
Both, because a lot of side characters have funny dialogue. The comedy does a lot.
Okay. I get that.
For keeping the characters fun.
Fair enough.
But the main characters were not. None of the main characters were fun for me.
Fun? No, I would not describe them as fun.
No.
Interesting?
Maybe. It's a matter of taste. We're back on taste.
I'm trying to think if I wouldn't call them interesting either.
I wouldn't call the characters interesting. I wouldn't even call them complex. They're very complicated people.
Aren't we all?
But it doesn't have to be that way.
I don't know.
But,
you're right.
You know, whatever. It's very gory, but it's not scary. It is gory. It does not pull the punch. No. It does not cut away.
There's some, oh my God, this is disgusting.
Yes, there are a
couple of those.
There are a lot of body parts flying.
Human meat.
Yes. Human meat is a good description of it.
That's what it was.
There are a lot of people exploding.
Parts going very far.
Disemboweling.
Yeah.
Not the way that you would typically see somebody disemboweled, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But
they got creative with it.
They got creative with it. I've never seen somebody disemboweled that way.
Yeah. This is different.
The long way, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
It's well acting, but the characters are chopped cheese. And the writing is a little chopped cheese too.
I agree. But thin.
It's very not great, but it's very well acted. I really liked the acting.
This is the first time I've seen Theo James in something, and I was like, he's good. I will watch him in other things.
He's good. He has to play dual roles. I think he does it very well.
Agree.
The Colin O'Brien, who's the child actor, well, I guess teenager actor, he was really good.
Yeah.
I love Tatiana Maslany and everything I see her in.
She was good.
But yeah, I like their acting, but the things that they gave the characters to do and say I don't think were very great. Yeah. My last non-spoiler note, and we said this in the car, is it's given sophomore album.
Yeah, it's not.
Even though this is an Osgood Perkins' second movie, Longlegs was not his first movie.
Right.
But it's kind of like, and I thought about this
sophomore
last night.
Slump.
It's kind of like when the VMAs do Best New Artist, and it's always like somebody who's been around for a long time, but they don't become Best New Artist until they get like their
5
first big
years.
hit.
Right.
So Longlegs was his Best New Artist, but this is his sophomore album, and it's going the route of most sophomore albums.
I mean, this is kind of getting into the rating section already, but I don't think this is as good as. No, you're fine. I don't think this is as good as Longlegs. It
definitely wasn't as good as Longlegs. No, though which is interesting because the cinema scores are so similar.
They're exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Which, actually, you know what? I'm just curious what the Rotten Tomatoes is.
They're not, but I'm gonna let you read them out.
They're not what
They're not the same.
I'm just curious of what they are. So, Longlegs has a current 8661 for Rotten Tomatoes on Longlegs, and then for the Monkey,
which is interesting because the divide is almost it's wider, but it's very close.
Yeah.
So, but for me, Longlegs was much better. I liked Longlegs a lot more.
The audience score for Longlegs is lower than the audience score for the Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because of the comedy, though.
I would say more happened in this than in Longlegs. Absolutely more happened in this film. But the
story of Longlegs was actually like a plot. There was connecting threads, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
It's strange. It's going to be a weird review.
You probably. So with that said, you got anything else for non-spoiler?
No, that's all I got.
All right, so we are going to go into our spoiler section, our review. If you don't want to be spoiled, pause and come back. But we are going into spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. So we will do each character like we typically do. Let's start off with Hal and Bill. So these are our twins. Mm-hmm. We start off the movie with them as kids. They're maybe 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And we with them for like a good 30-something minutes.
So that was one of my first digs at it, was that I think we spent too much time with them as children.
So much.
I love Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah.
And I realized that would have reduced some of her screen time.
If they weren't kids as long. Yeah, you're right.
But it would have done the movie a lot better. Yeah,
the pacing of, we just spent too much. I was ready for him to grow up.
Yeah.
And the kid part is important because we learn, I guess, we don't see the dad give them the monkey.
No.
They just get the monkey because the dad is dead?
So
or he leaves or something?
So Ben or Mark, whoever you
Ben from
choose to
Parks and Rec.
Adam Scott.
Mark from Severance, right.
Is the dad. He makes a cameo in the beginning. And he is the one who acquired the monkey.
Right. And he's trying to give it away, but this is where we get our first kill. Don't work. And I guess their mom says all of the stuff your dad used to, because he's a pilot, all of the stuff your dad used to collect on his travels all comes to you, like, at some point.
Yeah, because basically all he did was he flew around, he would pick up souvenirs or something, bring them home, and that would be his peace offering. The monkey was one, I guess.
Right. So the boys inherit, quote unquote, the monkey, because dad is somewhere, dead or alive. He's not in the movie anymore after this, after we see him in the beginning. And the first 30 minutes of the movie is the kid's life experiencing what the monkey does, but it's like we could have tightened it. I didn't really care that much about what the monkey was doing when they was kids, because obviously the monkey's still around when they adults.
Right.
Let's get to when they adults.
Yeah, and I think that's just something with the advertising. In the trailers, they didn't indicate that they would be spending a lot of time with them as kids.
You're right. You're right.
But we spent 40 minutes of the film.
It's at least 30-40 minutes.
40 minutes of the film with them being kids still trying to figure out what the monkey thing is about. And it's not mostly just that. It's them just being kids.
Right, because Hal is we'll call him the nice twin, and Bill is the mean twin. So Bill is very mean to Hal. Their mom doesn't seem to do anything about it, which was kind of frustrating. Hal ain't done nothing to deserve it. It don't seem like. Bill's just a mean kid. Yeah. And so it's a lot of that in the beginning, and I'm kind of like, I don't like this mean kid being a bully for no reason. Can we move on from this? And the actor's not bad. The actor who plays the twin, he's also pretty good at playing twins. So I don't know. I wasn't loving the kids part of this movie, but Theo James is an adult. Okay, I like the acting, but once again, so Bill is still trash. He don't evolve or nothing. He's still a trash twin. Hal has become a recluse, essentially. He ain't got no friends. The brothers don't talk anymore. At some point, he had a relationship with a woman because he has a son. So
let's get into why.
Okay.
There, he's a recluse because things have happened in that 25
years. Yeah, right.
So they get the monkey. They dig through, and there's something that I discovered on my own later that we'll break down at the very, very end. Well, no, we won't. We'll break it down right now.
Okay, go ahead.
It's very interesting.
Hit it.
So they go through their dad's closet. They find a bunch of things. They find some clothes, a random boomerang, some other random things he picked up all over the place around the world, and they find a monkey with a box in it. Monkey with a box in it. They find a box with a monkey in it.
I got you. I know what you meant.
So they discover the monkey. They wind it up. It doesn't. They wind it up. It doesn't do anything.
It takes a while to move. So it opens up his mouth, and we get the little crazy, creepy grin. And then at some point, it starts drumming. But initially, it's just staring at you, which is weird.
And it doesn't really do anything the first time they wind it up. So they're like, oh, it's just a trinket. We'll just keep it.
Right.
Eventually, they realize that the monkey has the ability to kill people.
Well, first, it moves. But, they don't...
the monkey, they don't know that, but the monkey can teleport. It just appears. If you take your eyes off of it, it'll move.
Right.
So, and not grow legs and run, but it just bounces around all over the place.
Right.
So the first time they realize that the monkey kills people is when they leave it in the car and the drum finally comes down. The drumstick finally comes down.
Right.
And the babysitter's head gets chopped off at Benihana.
At the hibachi place. And I don't think they actually put the monkey in the car. I think the monkey put himself in a car.
Yeah, the monkey just strapped himself in the car. So it came with them. Because I was like, why are they bringing this? They're too old to be having this toy with them everywhere.
Right. And I think the monkey moved from the passenger seat to the driver's seat.
It did. Yeah. It put itself in his book bag, too.
It did do that.
Yeah. Yep. So the monkey calls the babysitter to die. Her head gets chopped off at Benihana while he's working the hot table.
Yep. He's chopping up the onion and
the chef that is also flirting with her accidentally decapitates her.
Whole head.
And her head rolls off her shoulders and falls onto the stove.
Clean cut.
And cooks a little.
Nice clean cut.
Gross. That was the second kill of the film. But that's when they discover that the monkey has...
That was first, wasn't it?
No, the first kill was the pawn shop owner.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
That's when they first discovered that the monkey has supernatural powers.
Mm-hmm.
So as Hal and Bill's relationship gets worse as they're kids, because Bill is a bully, even helps the other bullies harass his brother at school.
I didn't like that.
Hal's like, I had enough. I know this monkey kills people. I want to use this monkey to kill Bill. So he winds up the monkey and says, kill Bill. What ends up happening is that Tatiana Maslany dies, the mom, instead of the monkey killing Bill.
She has a boomerang aneurysm and bleeds through her face.
They have something that they have never heard about before called a boomerang aneurysm. Do you know why she had a boomerang aneurysm? I think multiple things that the dad picked up were magical, especially the boomerang.
Okay.
Bill was the one who discovered the boomerang.
Yeah.
He touched it.
Mm-hmm.
And when Hal used the monkey to kill Bill, I think it bounced off of Bill and went to Tatiana Maslany.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that more than one thing in that closet had like magical properties.
Interesting.
It's very interesting that it was a boomerang aneurysm.
Yeah.
Is that even real?
Right.
2,
and we had just seen a boomerang.
and they brought attention to it when he pulled it out of the closet.
Interesting.
So maybe the boomerang is what protected Hal from being killed, and
it jumped to the mom.
Protected Bill from being killed, and it jumped to the mom instead.
Okay.
So the mom, because she didn't get her head chopped off, everybody else had a gruesome freak accident death.
Gruesome
she
freak
had
accident.
a boomerang aneurysm.
Right. So she was. it looked bad, but she wasn't like. Like you said, it wasn't gruesome. It was just more like she's bleeding
from the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting. And it seemed like she knew it was about to happen.
Very interesting writing choice. I think that was deliberate.
Interesting. Okay.
So back to your point, they've been estranged. We did a 25-year jump.
Mm-hmm.
They've been estranged.
Right.
I
one thing I did and do I have PD? I do have PD on here, which he could have been in this line. But so Hal eventually, at some point in the 25-year jump, had a son.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we didn't mention this part. The boys try to get rid of the monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Hal tries to chop it up, and it's got blood or goo inside of it.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
The monkey bleeds.
It bleeds, and he like chops it up, but then the monkey still shows up again. So this is when they're like, okay, we gotta like don't chop it up. Let's put it in a well.
So the monkey can teleport and put itself back together.
Weird. So they put it in this well. This is when we get to 25-year jump, and we get to Bill and Hal being estranged. Hal is a recluse because he's got this thing of like, there's this bad monkey out there that is attached to me, and if I get close to anybody, like the monkey might kill him. But it's like, sir, you have a son.
Mm-hmm.
When did you have a son?
Yeah.
Also, it's been 25 years and you ain't seen this monkey. Why are you being a weirdo?
I'm gonna save I'm gonna save that for my dislikes.
Okay.
But I agree
cool.
with all of your statements.
So the twins are estranged through the whole movie, pretty much, and it works for Theo James' advantage because he ain't gotta like be the same person in one scene.
They're only in one. Yeah, they're only like in the room together once
at the end.
At the end.
At the end of the movie, which worked and it doesn't look goofy, but I'm sure if they had to do that the whole movie, they kind of been like, okay, this works in some spots, it don't work in some spots. How overall though is just he's kind of annoying.
It took me until the end of the movie to realize that both of the brothers were terrible.
Yeah, Hal only sees his son once a year. Mm-hmm. And he uses the excuse of, I'm cursed with this monkey. He doesn't say the monkey, but he's like, I have this curse, so I can't see you. But he doesn't tell anybody, like, specifically why. So he's a trash dad.
Yeah.
And you don't feel bad that his son treats him like trash because he only sees his son once a year.
My first note about Hal is just,
Yeah, it's just
because I just felt about him the whole movie, even though he's supposed to be.
Feel more.
He's our main character of the twins.
Exactly,
he's supposed to be the one that we connect with throughout the rest of the film because we're following him throughout the rest of the film. He's had this tragic life or whatever, but his decision making was poor.
And Bill's lost it since their mom died. Bill went off the Richter scale, and he's just weird and kooky. So you don't feel bad for either one of them because Bill's still trash and Hal's now grown up to be a trash dad.
Yeah, so after the mom died, Bill completely shut down.
Yeah.
He never took off, he became an adult. But as a child for a couple weeks, because they had to go through the whole adoption process and move, he kept the funeral suit on. So he was just completely destroyed by the mom being killed.
Which was understandable.
Which is understandable because you're a kid.
Right.
But still, for me, Bill couldn't die fast enough. He was good at being unlikable.
I'll give him that. Theo James did good of playing two different people.
Yeah.
Even though they were twins. He did a good job at that.
He out of the two, both of them were unlikable, but he did a good job of being the most unlikable out of the two.
Agree, and it was a very distinct difference.
That's Theo James and the child actor.
Agree.
Both of them did a very good acting job of playing an unlikable character.
Right.
Even at the funeral, I didn't care for him. Even at the funeral, I'm like, you're a child. This is devastating. I should feel bad for you, but you have never been good a second in your life. I just don't.
I didn't.
Which don't feel bad for you.
Do you have anything else about the twins before we roll into the mom?
Oh, yeah, and your part about him clinging to the funeral suit, I thought that was kind of sad.
It was definitely sad.
But I think I did find it typical of bullies to wreak havoc in everybody else's life, and then as soon as something bad happened to them, they completely fall apart. So that made total sense.
Yeah, like surprise, the one when tragedy hits, the one who's awful can't keep it together.
Exactly.
It's always how it goes.
That's all my notes for Bill and Hal.
Let's go to their mom, and I guess she can have her own entry. I was like, do I put her on it? So mom is raising her boys by herself.
Yeah.
For some reason, she don't check Bill's being a bully, but maybe the twins kept it to themselves.
Yeah.
She tries to give them life advice about death, which is funny.
I thought she was funny.
She was funny, but it was like, Mom, this is not what you say to your kids.
She's been ruined by the fact that her husband left. Just picked up, made like an egg and scrambled, like she said. That was her line. Yes. And left her with the kids. Mm-hmm. I think, and she's being forced to go on like blind dates. So life has ruined her.
Yeah, she's doing her best in a crappy circumstance.
But she loves her kids. She treats her kids really well, and I enjoy that. Mm-hmm. We get constant scenes of her taking them out to eat. She gets some ice cream after the funeral.
They have dance. They dance together.
She bakes.
She does.
We see her baking twice.
And she's trying to raise teenage boys, so I feel for her.
And she got a nice house.
The house was nice. I don't know what she did for work, but they was living pretty decently.
Yeah, the house was nice. She had a very small part.
Yeah, Tatiana Maslany is not in this very much. Maybe less than 10 minutes screen time altogether.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I did like her character. I liked that she was funny. Her scene at the funeral where she talks about everybody dies, I thought that was funny. She goes, everybody dies. Sometimes you go into sleep. Sometimes you go horribly.
Right.
She said, gagged up with a rope with duct tape over your mouth screaming.
It was just like, and the kids are like next to her eating ice cream, and I'm like, why are you talking like this?
She's like, I'll die, and then you'll die. But I thought she was funny.
She was funny. She was probably the funniest in this movie, to be honest.
The funniest character, yeah. So every human in this movie is unserious.
Well, true. Mm-hmm. Just the way they talk, you're like, you would not talk to a real person like this. But so when she goes pretty quickly in the movie, it's kind of sad. And she shows up in like a flashback scene, like one time, maybe one or two times. But after she gets bit by the boomerang aneurysm, that's literally it.
She's done for the rest
of the film.
So
R.I.P. to mom in this. She was cool when she was in it.
I'm glad she didn't get blown up or dismembered or something.
True.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
So I was happy about that.
She had a peaceful life? I don't know.
Wasn't as bad.
She had all her limbs.
She had all parts. Not everybody had their parts.
She wasn't taco meat.
Yeah.
Because somebody was in this.
Petey, Hal's son. I liked Petey. Petey was played by Colin O'Brien. So Hal has a deal with the baby mama who is married to Elijah Wood.
Who's weird.
A second cameo character who is a author who writes books about fatherhood. Mm-hmm. That, funny enough, Hal reads.
Yeah, and I don't think he has kids of his own.
No, he doesn't.
At least they didn't show him.
He's the stepdad of Elijah Wood is the stepdad of Petey. But Hal has an arrangement with Petey where he sees him once a year on his birthday.
Awful.
Because Hal is so afraid of the monkey coming back and wreaking havoc on his life. That was terrible. That was one of my main issues with the film.
I didn't like the characters. Just like the thought process made no sense. Yeah. Once a year. Come on. And the kid, we had a discussion about this. Like the kid's probably like 16.
Yeah.
So what was the point?
Yeah.
At this point.
So the big point of contention between outside of the brothers is that Hal's baby mama is like, this arrangement has been garbage.
It is garbage.
We're going to officially have Elijah Wood adopt Petey, and we're going to cut you out completely. You don't have to keep coming back once a year to visit him because you're an absentee father and a deadbeat.
Part of it was valid, But it's like, why I ain't doing this? And the kid was like 3.
All of it was valid. All of the reasoning for why she did it was valid. What wasn't valid was why she waited so long. I agree with you.
And Elijah Wood's character was a weirdo. So horrible choice of men.
Yeah.
Twice.
He was a weirdo in the way that
he's like
Devin's husband is a weirdo in Severance. Almost exactly the same.
Devin at least seemed like he wouldn't like kill you in your sleep. Elijah Wood's character seemed like he could hurt you.
Yeah.
While you went
He
looking.
was like crazy.
He was crazy.
But I liked Petey. Petey was the only serious character in the film. He was the only level-headed person that actually looked at situations the way that a normal person should look at it. Okay. He called out his dad whenever his dad wasn't saying what it was that was making him act weird. Mm-hmm. He was calling him out whenever he was lying.
Yeah, Petey was the adult in this.
He was the only adult, which is ironic because he's the only child.
Yeah. And Petey was just kind of like, Petey wanted to have a relationship with Hal, but Hal wasn't giving it. And Petey was about to be like, whatever, like these are our last days together. I'm about to be adopted by a weirdo. So, but once the monkey plot started rolling, Petey was like, hey, I want to help figure this out too. And Hal's like, no. But he's like, no, you gonna let me stay.
So Bill wants to use Petey to, I don't even know how we should go over the reveals of.
Just do it.
Just do it. Over the course of the 25 years of the split of Hal and Bill has discovered that it was Hal who was the one who accidentally killed their mom.
Right, because Hal, as when they were kids, cranks up the monkey thinking that it's going to kill the brother, and it kills the mom, which I think you already explained.
And the monkey is a family heirloom, so it doesn't only just haunt Hal, it haunts Bill too. And it comes to Bill too when it decides to teleport and bounce all over the place.
Correct.
So Bill found out that Hal, 1, tried to have him killed.
Yeah, he kind of pieces it together on his own, essentially.
And 2, that him doing that is what resulted in their mom dying. But Bill hasn't revealed that he found all that out to Hal yet. Right. What he's playing at is he's convinced Hal that they both need to try to find the monkey to stop it before it results in more death.
Which that is not true.
And the way he does that is through Petey.
Yes.
I'm not Petey. Through Ricky.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is a different character.
Right. We can touch on Ricky briefly.
So Bill hires Ricky. He pays him $15.
Ricky is some rando from off the street. That's all we know about Ricky.
He pays Ricky $15 to go to their old house that they grew up in. To go retrieve the monkey at an estate sale so people don't see Bill there.
Right.
So Ricky does it, gives the monkey to Bill. And randomly throughout the film, random people that have no connection to Hal or Bill are dying in freak accidents. The first time is the girl.
One a day?
One a day, yeah. And it's all in their town.
Yes.
So the first time we get is a girl who blows up when she jumps in the pool at the motel.
Yep.
Because it was electrified. But they're trying to figure out, like, okay, so we're trying to figure out who's doing this. Who's turning the key?
Who has the monkey and who's turning the key?
Because it's not Bill and Hal. We know Ricky has it. We know Ricky went to go get it. So we're thinking maybe Ricky's just turning it, unaware of what it's doing. But no, Bill has it.
Whole time.
Bill has had the monkey the entire time. And he's been using it over and over and over again to try to get it to kill Hal. But it's random. Yeah. So it's just killing everybody else around
and
them.
I was like, how many times you gonna try this till you kill the whole town off?
So what Bill deduces is if you turn the key, you won't die. I'm not sure how he deduced that.
He wasn't that smart.
Maybe he was like, maybe if you're the last person to turn the key, it won't come for you.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure.
But he wasn't the last person to turn the key either, because Bill was turning the key like once a day. Yeah.
I see.
It's strange. They're
plot
holes. But so Bill uses Ricky to try to retrieve this monkey, but what he doesn't know is Ricky is also a little unstable. So Ricky holds Hal and Petey hostage because Ricky wants the monkey for himself.
We don't know why, though.
We don't know why. He's just weird.
He's very strange.
It reminds him of his dad, who also abandoned him. Ricky has nothing to do or no connection to Bill and Hal.
Nope. And he kidnaps them because he takes his dad's police uniform and impersonates a cop to get them to come with them. And he's just like, he don't even look like no cop, y'all. But whatever.
Yeah. So after he does that,
they crawl
we're getting into the ending.
Okay, so let's pause it. Let's chop it there. So we've introduced all our characters. Ricky is our rando third lead person who is in the middle of how Bill ends up getting the monkey, but also wants the monkey for himself. And in order to get it back, he kidnaps Hal and Petey.
Yeah.
So let's get into then our likes and dislikes.
Oh, you want to go first?
Bill's motivation, I did not like.
Bill is evil twin.
Bill is evil twin. We'll get into the ending, but Bill has a motivation to get back at his brother. And he has this revelation of like, oh, you killed our mom. And it's just kind of like, he was also his mom. He's like, oh yeah, I didn't think about it that way. What do you mean you didn't think about it that way? That's your brother.
I got the point of why he still wanted to kill him. We share a mom, but you are responsible for killing her. So,
but he was a kid.
I think it made more sense with the added fact that the only reason the mom died is because you wanted me dead. I think that's why he was still why he went on for it for so long.
I guess, but he was awful to his brother, and they were kids, so it was kind of like, you know why he wanted to kill you, because you were trash to him.
At every angle, Bill was still the worst of the two.
Exactly.
Even after the murder.
Hal literally did nothing wrong ever, really. Besides turning the monkey handle, but he didn't know what, I mean, I guess he knew. He didn't know how it worked.
Yeah, kids make all kind of dumb decisions.
Right. So that, I thought the kid was kind of a plot device.
Who, Petey?
Yeah, like they needed a third kid. They needed a random kid to turn it to.
Did they?
Exactly. Plot device. Already talked about spending a lot of times with the kids. Deaths were funny, but you had to suspend your disbelief.
Yes.
Quite a bit. And that's not really a like or dislike. That's kind of more of a statement in the middle. But the deaths that's where the comedy comes in, but it was kind of like, nobody died like that.
Yeah.
But whatever, we in a movie. And I thought the ending was kind of flat.
The ending did kind of fall flat for me.
Yeah. And that sums up, I don't know if I said a like in there at all, but those are all my likes and dislikes for this.
I liked the cast, of course, and the acting, which we said.
Check.
I thought all the kills were fun.
They were all fun.
The movie was slow. It made the kills even more interesting.
Yeah, because that's all you had going for you.
Right. So I came here for Final Destination style kills. I think that they served that up. Sometimes they were a little worse.
According to IMDb, there were 20 kills in this movie.
Oh, well, we'll get into that in the ending.
Okay.
But sure.
Okay,
fine. I won't argue that.
All right.
I don't have the data.
Right.
to argue that.
Definitely wasn't tallying every single person.
My other likes, hamburger phone.
That was cute.
Fun.
It was a little retro. Because this obviously takes place in the past.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Set design matters. I love the hamburger phone. For a kid's room, that made total sense.
They nailed the look of this movie. Like, this movie has a look, and they nailed it for, like, whatever time period, era they were going for. They got all that down. I agree with that.
Now let's get into the dislikes.
Go ahead. I did. I think everything I had was a dislike, unfortunately.
Dislike.
Run them down.
My main dislike is just with the twins. And the writing around the twins.
Yeah.
I'll start with Hal. Hal was F for me. The father-son stakes fell flat. They didn't work for me.
He could have just left that boy alone.
His whole life. It would have made more sense if he just abandoned the child, and he probably would have been better off. Yeah. He said he only wanted to see us once a year because freaky things happened to him. That's not true. Freaky things used to happen to you. Freaky things happened to you 25 years ago.
It's a 25-year gap.
Almost 30 years.
Of nothing
You've
happening.
had 25 years of peace. You're the issue.
And you had a kid.
Yeah,
you had a kid.
Nothing monkey-related happened for 25 years. So the rationale of when he's telling his son towards the end, he's like, oh, the reason I stayed away is just because weird things happened to me. That's not true. They happened to you.
It was in the past.
You've had 25 years of regular people problems.
And it's not like he was 25 when he started. Now he's 50. He was like a teenager. Now he's an adult.
Within the time frame of 25 years of no freak accidents happening, you met a woman. You had a baby. I assume you had a pretty good relationship with this woman because she allowed you to name your child the same name as your deadbeat father.
Yeah.
That's an interesting writing thing to do there.
Yeah.
Why would you name your child after your deadbeat dad?
Right.
But clearly you had a relationship with this woman. It wasn't a one-night stand because she let you name the boy after the man.
Right.
So,
and let you continue to see the kid.
I was unconvinced he was a deadbeat because of the monkey. It just didn't make sense. It made more sense that he just didn't want his son. That would have come across better.
That would have been the angle I would have went for.
It would have come across better as I abandoned you because I was abandoned by my father. I didn't know how to be a father. So that's why I stayed away.
Right. And I'm only doing it once a year as an obligation.
Right. Though I stayed away because of the cursed monkey. the monkey is so cursed that you run the risk of him dying seeing him once a year. So you would have been better off just leaving him alone.
Right. Why did the 1 year become like an exception? Like his birthday had a magic trick around it. Like nothing happens bad on his birthday.
It didn't make sense to me why he even still wanted to see him once a year.
Agree.
Yeah. It didn't come across to me why he even clung to this boy. He said towards the end that he really cares about him. You're the most important thing in the world.
Nope.
The answer can't be that deep down inside you love him, because you don't.
Once
Neither one of you know each other.
Right. That was another thing. Like, how well can you, and obviously in the movie they play their relationship is weird because they don't know each other. But it's like, y'all like really don't. Do you call him on the off months?
This isn't like a situation where you get him on weekends.
Right. Or like,
this is once a year.
Y'all not FaceTiming.
Yeah.
You literally once a year. Like, you are a stranger.
Y'all didn't do the swap in the McDonald's parking lot. Like, you see him once a year.
You are a stranger.
Y'all don't know each other at all. So there's not even familial love there.
Right.
Because y'all strangers. Yeah.
Literally strangers.
Bill, I just didn't like Bill's motivation towards the end. It made sense to me a little bit because, yes, you're my brother, but you killed our mom. So, and you tried to kill me. So I do kind of still want to go after you. I got that part. That made sense to me only because, not for a regular person, but that made sense to me only because Bill is crazy and you have to just accept the fact that. At the
end of the movie, Bill has recreated his funeral suit, but he's got like
a flaming corset.
A corset around it, and there's no explanation for it.
I think it's because the suit is too small.
But why is it flames?
I don't know why it's
okay.
When he taught himself to sew. I don't know how he got enough money to buy this warehouse and set up all these booby traps. It doesn't seem like he works. So
he don't work.
Bill is crazy.
He don't look like he worked.
Bill is crazy. So his motivation for wanting to kill his brother made sense to me in the context of the fact that he's crazy, but it was still a dumb motivation.
I didn't like it. It was thin. It was too thin.
It was. And I didn't like the fact that all his development happened in a montage.
Essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was still like, but you bullied this boy.
Yeah.
You're not innocent. So why would you?
Bill never accepted the fact that he was terrible. Even in the end, he still did the shaking hand trick twice in a row. He never he
never grew up.
He never grew up. He never came to terms with the fact that he was also awful.
Never.
He never accepted that.
No accountability.
He was never the problem in any situation, which is weird.
He even does something at the very end that kills a bunch of people, and he's just like, oh.
He knows he's killing people, and he's just continuing to do it.
You're right. And actually, he knows he's a murderer.
That's a little bit where the writing fell apart for me a little bit, too.
Okay.
Is because at a certain point when you've killed so many people because this monkey has not done what you needed to do, you should have just got a gun and went to go kill the man. You are killing so many people.
Yeah,
20 people.
He causes a plane crash.
He basically kills half the town.
Most of the town.
Yeah, he causes a plane crash, kills half the town. A school bus of kids get killed.
Yeah. People minding their business, walking the street, getting killed by debris.
Some guy had a surfboard that went through him and through the tree. Some girls pushing
baby carriage on fire. Like Bill deserved. I mean, we gonna get there, but
Bill
deserved what he got.
The girl in the pool who blew up and the real estate agent who got shot and blown apart was because of Bill, technically.
Yes.
So Bill was terrible. It just didn't make sense why he continued down the monkey path when there's easier ways to kill people.
He could have poisoned his brother a long time ago.
But like, there's easier ways to do this,
right?
Without ruining everybody else's life.
Because it seemed like he was worshiping the monkey, but the monkey is what killed your mom, and ultimately.
And that's why I said Bill's crazy.
Yeah,
Bill's nuts.
The crazy wasn't justified though.
Any other dislike I had in this? Not Petey. Ricky ruined a little bit of the plot for me.
Ricky didn't have no points. Ricky was literally there to get Bill the monkey, and then Ricky wanted the monkey back, but we had no explanation as to why he wanted it. And the characterization of Ricky was just annoying.
Ricky was a terrible character, and he made the plot convoluted.
It just added nothing.
Added nothing to it. His death wasn't even interesting. His death was the most. Death was the one death I was like, I didn't care for this one.
Yeah, so a bunch of wasps come and basically
fly through a bullet hole in the windshield
in his body through his mouth, and then that's how.
And then crawl out of his face, and his face falls apart. Yeah. As you know, it got too cartoony for me.
Actually, that was probably the least creative death.
Yeah, it got too cartoony for me. And this isn't Rowan Campbell shade, we both had guesses on who he was. You thought he was Caligula.
I thought he was a crazy...
Which is Caracalla from Gladiator, not Caligula.
I knew that was wrong, but you knew what I was talking about.
When you said that, I was like,
like
what?
That's why you said what? Like, I was like, that's not his name, but I can't think of what it is.
You leaned over and said that to me, you said, it's Caligula. I'm like, what?
The crazy blonde, not the Joseph Quinn, but the other actor who played the crazy emperor in Gladiator 2. I thought it was him.
It was Rowan Campbell.
Right, who also was the brother in Craven. Same guy.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like him, but it's not him. It's not him.
Rowan Campbell is I know him from Halloween Ends. He was Corey. That's why nobody liked Halloween Ends, because instead of it being Michael Myers, Halloween Ends was about some random boy stealing the essence of Michael Myers and using it to get revenge on the townsfolk. Okay. He played the character. Yeah. I didn't
like Ricky in this.
I didn't bring my Halloween Ends bias in it because I did not like him in that movie. But
I didn't bring the bias because I ain't seen it and I still ain't like him.
He ruined a little bit of the plot for me.
It's just unnecessary stuff.
The ending.
So what happens in the end is that PD actually does turn the monkey as Bill wants him to. Somehow Hal ends up coming through like a doggy door to get into the building that Bill and Ricky are in. Nope. Bill and Petey are in. They're having like a conversation, three-way conversation, and this is where we have the whole conversation about, oh, you killed our mom. He's like, but you know, she was my mom too, and it's kind of like you think, but you know better. It's gonna be like a happy ending where all three of them are just gonna, you know, be at one and be at peace, because Hal invites Bill on to their road trip wherever they were going for Petey's birthday.
Going to some amusement park or something.
Right. I don't know if they ever make it. Anywho, when Petey comes into the warehouse that Bill is staying in, Bill's got a bunch of booby traps. So he notices it. He trips off one, but it misses him. Then he's about to trip off another one, but he catches it, so he steps over it. But then
it still kind of triggers it?
But somehow it still triggers like a backup booby trap.
I was confused how it still got triggered, because he didn't completely break the wire, but it did enough, I guess.
Right. Like he almost stepped on him, but he didn't. But somehow the booby trap ends up getting triggered. But as the movie's going on and we getting this whole three-way conversation and the brothers are coming to terms or whatever, in the back of our mind as the audience, we like, what happened to the booby trap? So they come to peace, they shake hands, they're about to all leave, and then the booby trap completes itself and a bowling ball knocks Bill's head off and he dies.
Chekhov's bowling ball. Had Hal accidentally dropped the bowling ball in his brother's face when he was asleep, all of this would have been prevented, because his brother would have died when they were children.
Very beginning, Hal wants to drop a bowling ball on Bill's head while he's asleep.
Their mom's bowling ball.
Right. And the mom's bowling ball is what takes off Bill's head at the booby trap at the very end. Yeah. So right before that, Hal turned the monkey thing, and then people were like falling out of the sky, dying. So at the very end, we get Hal and Petey riding through town. We see a bunch of the dead bodies, and they're like,
it looks like the Purge.
Right. They're having a moment to where I guess we can conclude that they're going to work things out as father and son and continue on their journey and their relationship.
They're about to be 2 adults in like 3 years.
I don't particularly care. A bunch of teenager cheerleaders keep showing up in the movie at weird, awkward, unnecessary times. So a bunch of cheerleaders get massacred by like a semi. And
all the students were weird.
Yeah, and I think that's our last group of kills, and then they just kind of ride off into the sunset. And
there was something that happened that you had to explain to me because I missed it.
Oh, and they keep the monkey. The monkey actually survives because the mission basically is, or the point is, somebody got to keep the monkey to make sure nobody turns it. So it basically becomes a family heirloom still. And Hal is going to keep it to make sure nobody turns it. So the monkey doesn't get like chopped up or nothing.
That makes the most sense to me. That's what I would do. If I was stuck in that situation, I would keep the monkey in a closet.
That makes sense.
Or in a safe.
Right. And can't nobody open it.
Because, I mean, it'll teleport out if it wants to get out. Like, the monkey can move wherever it wants to go.
Oh, so why even bother?
You just got to keep it with you. Just keep it with you at all times.
But what if it teleports somewhere else because it's bored?
It still can't. But you can separate the key from it.
You're right. So, you can take the key out from the monkey so nobody can turn it.
So it's a 2-part deal. But that's not what I meant.
Okay.
What was the thing with on the horse?
So There's a line, I think, I don't know when Hal says this, and I don't remember to who, but he says something like, I don't go near people because I'm like death on a white horse, and when I come around and come along, things happen. So at the very end of the movie, it don't fit the movie like, it's the most, why would you insert this part of the movie? Like, basically, who was the bad dude in Sleepy Hollow with no head? The headless horseman?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He looked like the headless horseman with a head. And he comes and rides along the street as they're at a stoplight. And he looks at Hal, and Hal looks at him. He's like, oh, this is the white guy on the horse that I was talking about. He's basically like an agent of death.
Yeah, so that's what the wiki says. The wiki says he's implied to be the Pale Horseman.
There it is.
Which is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Okay, so Hal thinks he's like the Pale Horseman because wherever he goes, people die. Mm-hmm. So the Pale Horseman clicks along the street. They have eye contact, and then he goes away. And Petey can see him too. And so it's just kind of, it adds nothing. Like, it's a callback, but it's like, we don't really need this callback. And I was just kind of like, and it's at the very, very end before they ride off into the sunset. And it's just like, okay, I'm ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
So the ending is the monkey survives. Almost everybody dies except Hal and his son Petey.
And Hal's mom and stepdad live, I guess.
Oh, the kids' parents live, which we never see again anyway. And we never find out the origins of the monkey.
We never find out where the monkey comes. I mean, because we don't even know if the dad's alive or dead.
Nope.
Assume he's dead by now.
Sure.
If it got around to Tatiana Maslany, it definitely got around to Ben.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But we have no origin story of where the monkey came from, how he got his powers, nothing.
No.
In the movie.
But it was based on a short story, so maybe there wasn't supposed to be an origin.
Sure.
Like, not all short stories they just kind of like start.
And then just end.
Yeah.
And you're just like, where's the rest of the story?
Favorite line or scene?
I think I'll pick a death.
I was going to say, should we do favorite kill? Because I don't have a favorite scene.
Yes, let's do favorite kill. My favorite kill would be the chick jumping in the pool. Because that was the most ridiculous.
Really?
So she jumps in the pool and gets electrocuted, and her whole body just blows to pieces. And you were like, people wouldn't get electrocuted like that.
Yeah.
But she literally blows up like a bomb was inside her when she jumps into the in the water that's now where she gets electrocuted.
That's not how that happens.
I know,
she blew up like she's. Oh no, I mean in real life.
Yeah,
she blew up like she stepped on a landmine.
Exactly.
It's like,
but that one, and then what would be the rest of them were just like, they were just so gory and gross and just so beyond real. I was just like, this is goofy.
I have one. Do you have one that you didn't like?
I didn't like the meat. The
Me
human
too.
meat.
So I'll do that. We can do that together.
Okay.
So my favorite kill.
Okay.
Will go towards the Aunt Ida.
Okay, hers is pretty good.
Aunt Ida's kill was awful. So what happened to Aunt Ida is she did one of my favorite things. She woke up in the middle of the night, heard a noise, came downstairs with the Thule. She wasted no time.
Oh, I did like that.
Yes.
She came out
Ida
ready
had
to pop.
packing heat. I love that. Aunt Ida said, no, not on my time. So she comes downstairs.
Was at least ready.
She comes downstairs with the gun. She doesn't accidentally shoot herself, so I was happy about that. But she goes downstairs to the basement, checks it, nothing's there. She tries to walk upstairs. She falls through the stairs and into a box of
fishing hooks.
So she's got fishing hooks all in her face.
Okay.
She goes to take them out, uses rubbing alcohol for the wounds, and then she goes to sniff her stove because she can hear the gas running, and it lights her face on fire.
The whole face on fire.
So her whole head is on fire. She's burning. She runs outside to the yard, accidentally steps inside a flower vase that somebody left for her husband.
Big old flower.
Because he died earlier.
Right.
And she.
Well, no, he died 25 years earlier. So I don't know why that was out there. What was it out there for?
The real estate agent left it. Because the house was for sale.
Ah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what it was.
Okay.
The real estate agent left the flower pot in the stairs. Okay. She steps in it. So she's got one leg loose, one leg in a pot. She stumbles down her front yard and she spears her head onto the for sale sign in her front lawn.
It's like a wooden post with a sale sign hanging from it. In the end, it's like a very sharp point, and she goes right into it in her face.
I love that one because, like Final Destination, I like the kills that have layers.
I like that one.
Because
I agree with you.
Had a lot of layers.
Because it was like you thought that she was gonna die when she falls through the stairs with the fish hooks, but nope, she lives. And then you thought the fire was gonna take her. I mean, it probably would have. Yeah. But then to add insult to injury, her foot gets stuck in the pole in the pot. And then it's just the final death blow is actually the for sale sign. And
they leave the for sale sign up in the yard and just put a safety cone over where her face used to be.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Disgusting.
But let's talk about the kill we didn't care for.
I don't even remember who this was.
That was the uncle.
Well, okay.
Who was played by Osgood Perkins.
So the uncle dies when Bill actually turns it because he's like, I don't even know why he turns it, but
he turns it because they threw the monkey down.
In the well.
No, they chopped the monkey up.
Right. And monkey showed back up in their bed.
Monkey shows up in the new state at the new house with the new family.
Right. And they been intact.
So Hal tells them it's evil. The monkey's evil. It killed our mom. It's terrible. Bill's like, I don't believe you. Let's try it.
They try it, and it's the uncle.
And the uncle dies.
Uncle is trampled by some wildebeest or something.
A stampede of wild horses while he's camping.
He's sleeping outside in the sleeping bag. He gets trampled to he looks like ground beef.
Yes, they open up the sleeping bag and it's literally just ground beef.
It's oozing ground beef. I was like, come on, that's nasty.
It was so nasty.
It was so the grossest thing I've ever seen. You thought a cheese grater against somebody's underarms was bad.
At least
this was terrible.
We didn't see the act of him being trampled.
But they poured out his meat was pouring out of the sleeping bag.
Somebody in our theater audibly yelled out, "What are we watching?"
It was disgusting. I don't ever want to see anything like that in a movie again in my life.
That was what I didn't particularly care for.
I didn't like it.
But I appreciated it.
It was literally just for shock value. But I was like, y'all, this is just to be on a movie set and see that, I would have been like, I can't be here
the
today.
practical effects had to have just been ground beef. It was
or chicken, maybe ground chicken because it had to be white, like human skin.
Yeah.
Nasty, man.
Gross.
So gross. So nasty.
Did you have any random notes you wanted to throw out?
I don't think I did. No.
I just have a few. I'm going to shoot them out really quick because we're going for a while.
Okay.
Never going to a steakhouse again. Benihana is ruined. Thank you so much for that. Don't need to sit at the chopping table.
Yeah, you would never get over that, huh? Yeah,
no,
I mean, I can see
because they love to throw knives.
It's like the Final Destination moment.
Yeah, you know what? It's my new wooden truck. Okay. It's my new log truck.
It is.
It's Benihana.
I can see that. I mean, sure, the whole head did get sliced off.
Intestines. The opening kill, which we didn't mention, it was in the trailer. When Bill goes to give the monkey to a pawn shop owner, it shoots a spear through his stomach, and then it winds the spear back, and it pulls his intestines out inch by inch. As it's winding back, and you have a string of intestines going across the pawn shop. That's how the movie opens. Interesting.
Disgusting. It's very not as bad as the human lunch meat though. Taco meat.
Not as bad as human lunch meat. The last kill I'll mention is the real estate agent.
Yeah, hers was pretty bad.
She opens the door to a closet and a shotgun falls and blows her apart.
Her whole body apart.
Yeah, I don't think that's how shotguns work.
Shit, there's nothing left of her.
It blew her apart so much that a finger flew in his mouth that he had to spit out.
And when they bring her out, she's in 2 separate body bags. And I was like, come on.
Garbage bags.
Come on, y'all. This is unserious. Very unserious.
Let's do our rating.
All right. I'm going to give this a 3.
I'm going to give it a 3 too.
I'll
give it a 3.5.
The character, I'm taking 1 off for the characters and I'm taking 1 off for the pacing. I wasn't really rooting for any of the characters, although the son was innocent the whole time. I didn't really care. And then the pacing, it was too much of a slow burn.
Yeah.
Even with all of the kills, the 20 kills apparently, it was still a slow burn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The movie was slow. It had a lot of plot hole issues, especially around the monkeys and the 25-year gap.
When you can turn it, when it don't turn. And
when it don't turn. Who it affects. They didn't really break down the logic between how Bill found out if you turned it, you're invincible or you're immune to it.
He just figured it out.
No, he just figured it out.
The crazy twin.
There was a lot of things around. I kind of feel like I didn't like the fact that all of Bill's stuff was in a montage and it was poorly explained. And that's probably why. Probably. Because we didn't get any time with Bill until it was the time to reveal at the end that he was the orchestrator of it.
Right.
And I take another one off, but it's kind of saved a little bit by the characters. I did think the characters were bad, but the comedy made up for it. It was a lot funnier than I expected it to be. Sometimes I laughed at the parts that I don't know if I was supposed to laugh. Like the kills were ridiculous and funny. The priest in the funeral was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
But there would be no church that you would work at in the real world.
Nobody
would have you do their funeral
and talk like that.
And he came back and did the moms. Like they wouldn't bring you back.
Everybody's funeral was there.
Yeah.
Like literally I was just like, suspending my disbelief like ran out by the time the movie was over. I was like, okay,
the cheerleaders cheering outside the house when the body came out. That didn't make any sense.
No explanation for that.
The group of girl bullies, not saying girls can be bullies, but the group of girl bullies who only harassed Hal was
and then the brother joined them.
And then the brother joined them, and the mom didn't do anything.
For what?
Yeah.
There were just certain parts about the writing. I was like, I don't know.
The girls took his pants at school, and he walked all the way home in his underwear. That didn't make sense. That's unrealistic.
For what? Like, what did that add to the movie? Other than we already established that he was bullied by his brother.
But it was ridiculous, and it was a lot funnier than I expected it to be. I don't think it was all intentional, though.
Okay. So we had 3, and we had 3.5. So I don't know. You could probably wait for streaming, to be honest. I don't know if I watched anything.
I think the most interesting thing about this is the kills. And for that, I would wait for streaming. I don't think story-wise, there's a lot here that needs to be seen in a theater.
Which probably explains the 67 for the audience.
And that's okay because he's going to make his money back. So this movie is already a box office success.
Maybe.
He's going to make his $11 million back.
Yeah, but you got to double it for like.
Did they really market it?
I don't know. You know, studios got weird math.
He should at least be able to make 30.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
I think it's okay if a lot of people wait for streaming for this.
Yeah.
I think you will appreciate having waited for streaming for this. Especially since it's so slow. You can at least do it all at home.
You can be on your comfy couch with a snack from your refrigerator, some free soda.
You can pause when you need to.
Right. You can, if you want to fast forward through any type of like nastiness.
Hey, watch it at 0.5 speed.
No.
So
1.5 speed.
Oh, yeah, 1.5 speed.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
sorry. Not down.
Go slower.
Yeah, watch it at 1.5 speed.
Yeah, you be there all day.
So you can get through it a little bit faster.
Yeah. Too slow burn for me.
All right, so that is our review of The Monkey. If you have seen it, tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, maybe we're wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though.
If you absolutely do need to go to the movie theater this weekend, go see Captain America.
Brave New World.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Action. Ain't a slow burn. And it's got a lot of superheroes.
Yeah. All right. So, what are we watching next week? Do we know?
No. I don't know what we're doing.
What's this month?
It is March.
Movies,
no, it's February.
March 2025.
It'll be March. No. We should watch The Gorge, maybe. That's on Apple.
We could. I'm not opposed to that.
Okay. Maybe we'll do The Gorge. Check it out. It's apparent. It's the most watched movie on Apple TV. It bumped out Wolves.
Is it?
Yeah. Like opening weekend. That's weird to say for a streamer. But yeah, it knocked out Wolves for like the most streamed movie for its first week or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right. Thanks for listening. If you like our show, please give it a share. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on our website. Vaguely Nerdy.
Oh, were you waiting for me?
No, I literally blanked. VaguelyNerdyPodcast.com, where you can leave us a voice message that we can play on the show if it is nice and not a hot mess. If it is, I will play it and give you a rebuttal live on air. You can follow us on Threads and IG at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast. We are also on Blue Sky and Twitter at Vaguely Nerdy Pod, and you can reach us via email at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com. And if you're listening to this on a podcast app, you can watch our animated show on the YouTube, where we are also Vaguely Nerdy. And don't forget to give us a follow on YouTube as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.